Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome in. I'm so sorry. I don't know what's wrong with me. No, I don't know what's wrong with you either. Welcome back. We're doing some more Pokemon Platinum KAIZO. I know, how original, right? I haven't played this game in like forever. Whoa, even though that's the biggest lie I think I've ever told in the history of ever. Mind me just pulling up the guide. All right, yeah, we're gonna play some more Platinum KAIZO today. Let's go ahead and play more.
I'm gonna be living 100 days
Platinum KAIZO
in
today.
this village. Just this village. I thought about building like a border or something and creative.
Second,
I'm
guys.
just gonna get into it. I did this once as a kid.
All right.
I didn't film it or anything, but I did this once as a kid. I don't know how conservative I'm gonna have to be with resources, but for now, I'm just gonna kind of pretend I'm in the desert. Oh, you know what? I bet you the roads. That's kind of a good way to tell if you're in the village.
I was born in a road. No, you weren't.
That over there, that's just forest. That's not a village anymore. I don't know. It's an interesting challenge, wouldn't you say?
No.
Maybe don't take it too seriously. This is Minecraft. I'm wondering what the first thing I can't get is gonna be.
I always take Minecraft too seriously.
Dang it! I wish I didn't live in a village.
I think it was left gang.
Where everyone hangs
I wasn't paying
out.
attention with the ball and the thing said.
Okay, gonna try to get to sleep quick so no monsters spawn. I am wall-less. Good game. Day 2, it's wall time. Yeah, I'm just gonna set this up immediately. I want to feel safe.
Enough strong.
I do not want to get creeped on. It's gonna be a while before I have good armor and stuff. I can just feel that. Being on kind of a plateau should make walling fairly easy. But I think for now I'm just gonna hit the problem areas. Oh, some nice flat wallable area. I'm gonna try to cut off this forest side first. That forest, that's where the creepers are gonna spawn. Get in the wall, Billy! One long side of the fence there done. That should stop anything from the forest. I imagine this area with no lights, that could be a good spot for monsters.
Hey, gang.
Down, I'm just gonna sleep. I know it's a little
MyAAA's could be good,
but I'm trying to live here.
This one, however, is not.
Is this Peace part of the village? Is that a whole house over there? Oh, gee, there's a couple of houses over there. Oh, yeah, they're like completely cut off. There's a church down there. Nice little area for mining. Right, this counts. I'm right by a villager hut. I'm definitely in the village. Yeah, grab some coal. We can light up the wall. I do gotta get up though. This little adventure might cost me some villagers.
Ouch. Yeah, if that one shot me, I'd genuinely be shocked.
I love that sunset. That's a nice area.
All right, well, we're out of the lab. Only take one attempt. Technically 2, I guess.
Then I had the thought, like, well, why do I even really need a way down?
But I'm to pivot with. It's bulky and semi-fast. Fast enough.
I might just have to demolish this house or make it mine. And I think it's the tallest one. Oh yeah, totally the tallest one. Okay, eminent domain, I declare it. You know what I want to do? I probably want to actually make this wall a little bit closer. Keep those stinking villagers out of my house. You stay on your side.
I'm in my mom's house.
Now have I talked about it? Sunset alone, it's worth it up here. How did so many of you get in the sheep pen? I know I've called you animals, but you're not animals. Well, I guess now I've got a good source of animal protein. That'll make gray, right?
Why did he say that like that?
Yes, it does make a gray sheep.
A good source of animal protein?
Are you in my house right now? Get out. Oh, yeah, and then this side should be very easy to wall. You just connect it to the villager houses. I just had the thought.
I'll take a scyther. I don't have any balls, do I?
Is going to be a raid. I'm always
no
wondering
balls.
what the max boss will be. And if pillagers show up, I can get a bottle. Bad Omen bottle and do a raid here. Let's see if that happens. That'd be awesome. That's not awesome. A guy sleeping in my house. Day 6 objective today is to keep this guy out of my house. Yeah, leave. Oh, yeah, map. How's the map look? Yeah, decent. Decent. Black and dark gray makes...
I always forget what Mold Breaker does. That prevents me from...
Another dark gray, I guess.
Targets his ability.
I'm gonna double check the perimeter here, but I'm almost certain it's all secure. Last step is just put...
Flareon's usually a butthole to catch, so...
Okay. Wow. Village actually secured. This is the town. I'll live here for the next 90...
Well, frick you, Flareon. Oh, wait, I lived. Run. Yeah, I gotta buy more balls.
My wall? My fence?
Thunderbolt did a lot of damage, and I have a really good switch defense, so... Well, I don't know. It was a crit, so...
Which is secure the place that I have to stay at this whole time.
I should put it to sleep next time I see it.
But I can't leave. Just want to make sure I don't run out of trees, because these are actually the last trees in my village right now. I've never done this before. I don't know what I'm going to run out of. I might have to make this farm a little bit bigger. I've got bread. I got it from stealing, but stealing isn't very sustainable now. I got no.
Seriously, you're asleep. Really?
I have here. Way ugly.
Thank you.
But that's more farmland. I should be mining right now, but instead I'm gonna be getting this ass. Guess I thought he would follow me.
No special defense.
But we are friends now, and friends definitely.
I mentioned Thunderbolt's good coverage though. I'll try to run it. Screw it. Maybe I get Calm Mind or something. I don't know.
They definitely bash their friends with shovels. Liz, and this is that part of town where no one really goes.
Well, I guess I could go check the lake encounters. It couldn't hurt.
This is my hole where I keep my ass. That's what this thing is called. Look it up. Okay, it wasn't recording. I am down a couple hearts because I got shot at by a skeleton. See,
All right, there's something over here.
He's
I mean, I could check the fishing encounters, but I don't even know if I'll make it that far.
Dude, Golem,
There's no point in counting my chickens before they
I'm just
hatch.
gonna put a few lights out here, nothing crazy. Stop some of those spawns. Oh, I can't have villagers getting shot by skeletons. Or me, more importantly. I do gotta fix this thing up here.
Oh, I'm gonna die.
This is a huge security risk.
Maybe he
If you're a
misses, I don't
skeleton,
know.
You can see the whole town from up here.
Okay.
Can't forget to feed the inbred sheep. Back to doing what I was doing yesterday before I was distracted by that fat old juicy. Need a good stack of cobblestone for all my tools, and then maybe I'll actually build a proper mine. Look at that emerald! Creeper revealed an emerald! Yeah, I don't think I can.
What's an emerald? Shut
I'm
up.
not going to. Maybe one day.
Pokemon emerald.
Silk touch.
I need help.
I think living in the village, I'll probably have all the emeralds I'll ever need. I hope I don't forget about that day. Oh man, I'm tired of real life too. Right here is kind of screaming at me to make a mine. I carved out this.
Stone Evos suck in Kaizo.
This feels good. And
I got stabbed
Not gonna be
purple, so
too
let's.
greedy right now. Really just need a little iron, little coal. Going with a straight down.
He missed. I
spiral
actually would have had a
staircase design,
decent
this way
chance
I
of
can
winning
always
that.
assure I'm within the village. The ground rights or whatever, I don't know. Got an idea yesterday while mining. If I lose all the villagers, it's basically dead village. So you got you three. You guys are gonna get sealed in here. And with those two villagers, if I ever need, I can make more. Recently, I have
What?
been treating villagers better. What are you doing outside the wall? Get in, sir. Come on. You know the rules. Recently, I have been trying to treat villagers nicer. I have. But in these trying times, I think I'm gonna have to do that. All right. Mutton time. I'm here.
Licky! Although I have to fight a Darkrai, so I don't expect to win with it, but I'm just glad I get to at least use it for one attempt.
Well, you'll find out soon, mon son. 8 iron. What are you doing with it? Oh,
Frick you, Darkrai.
What? I can't hear you. Sword, shield, and bucket seems like the best option for right now. And all this area can be farmland.
This is a bucket.
Where I really could not.
I want to run a Licky so bad. I love Licky. It's so cute.
One for the emeralds, one for the town. Okay, I didn't think I'd get to.
I was born in an emerald. No, you weren't.
Let's see. White and light.
How do you know I wasn't born in an emerald or not?
Make a white one. It made a light gray. That's fine. I still love him.
What the frick does that mean?
And black is actually
All right,
really
right
good for villager
gang.
trade.
Wow, they're all garbage.
I'm a Minecraft pro. Oh, it happened.
Honestly, for a Farfetch, it's pretty good.
I wasn't recording. Oh well, I'm in the mines. Still just a spiral staircase mine.
Ouch. Of course I missed cockshot. I'm gonna watch get the freeze here. I missed twice in a row.
Someone explain to me
Gang.
about silverfish. I've done a little pro gamer thinking and I've got a plan. Well, they should be in here.
I literally would have won that if I didn't miss twice in a row. I literally would have won. That's so freaking annoying.
Let's see. Oh, there's one. Well, I brought slabs, so I should be able to kind of just section these guys off. Got him, ma'am. My pro gamer fingers. Ask your mom. Oh, right on top of me. 2 of them. As long as I'm up just a little bit, I'm fine. Oh, there it is. The diamond. Yes. Okay, let's open her up.
Yo, what's going on, Mario the Gray?
As a true
Thank you for
gentleman,
joining in. I appreciate it. We got a Licky, but we freaking had to face a Darkrai, and we lost it, and I was really upset. Because I want to run to Licky so bad.
Oh, and hey, I just proved my mine method works.
But
a lot of sacred ground around here. Not
not
trying
yet.
to get a fine. Okay, let's see. White sheep, maybe.
What does
Maybe.
Euro Ball do again? Power increases the target's current speed compared to the user. I think that means the slower I am, the better, and I'm really slow, so, and I'm dead. Saw that big sad gem. I know. I want to run a Licky dude. It's so cute. One of the cutest Pokemon, in my opinion, personally. Top 10 cutest Pokemon, for sure. I don't care what people say. Lickitung is freaking ugly, but Licky's adorable. He just looks so happy all the time.
I don't think I really need that many golems. And it's free iron. Free iron. What he
Alright,
did
right, gang.
was the cost that would bear on his conscience.
Ugh.
Not now. Years later. Probably want to keep villagers out of here too.
It's actually a pretty good move, though.
The night. Gotta be quick. Anyone live
You
here?
better-
Yeah,
this
one
Pokemon
guy.
sucks.
A little relocating. Probably better for the village if they're all kind of close together. And then I'll kind of be able to section this off as my area. Wow.
My speed sharply rose, and I
Not
still,
worried about that yet, but I gotta keep stuff out of the farmland. Sheep will be better, but in order to automatically farm them, I gotta go to the nether. Gotta be careful when feeding here. If I mix, I'll get more grays. You just breed the white ones with the white ones, the black ones with the black ones. No one gets confused.
Acupressure is a weird
You know, it's
freaking
hard to
move.
see, I used a little of that golem iron, made some pants and boots. And you might also notice
Well,
my
Lickitung got an
fresh
Evo, and they did him so dirty, Gen 1. Oh, they definitely did. I actually watched a video last night about top 10 most accidental bad Pokemon, and Lickitung was on the list, and I'm like, yeah, Lickitung was. It's not even good with Eviolite. That's how bad it is.
House gone, land flattened out. That looks much nicer. Yeah, I left little bits there, but almost got it all done in a day. I don't like
Right,
working in the
gang.
rain. I'm going to sleep. I think this guy thinks he lives
For a
with
while,
me.
really.
And surprisingly,
Maybe like 5 years to like get a
I'm gonna
good
let- I gotta at
starter, I
least have
guess.
one of them that's a friend. Filthy stupid. All right, whites first. I can't get.
Of course
too
you have
crazy
Lava
here 'cause
Plume.
I still have to sort them later. Okay, I can't fit these villager houses in my inventory. Oh, perfect time for this. Perfect time for this. I'd like to give bundles an apology. Bundles, they're amazing. In my last video, at the beginning, I said something like,
If I consistently have this bad luck for a while, then it's gonna be a short stream because I only made 70 ROMs, so.
They're awesome, but then forgot to like put that in the video. Now the reason I don't know anything about bundles is because I've never crafted one. Like I could not tell you the recipe. I don't even think I've unlocked it. I have no idea how to make a bundle, so that's probably why I've never used one. Is that
That's
the
pretty good.
armadillo thing? No, the armadillo.
It's alright.
Dog armor, which
If I could get Calm Mind, that would be amazing.
come on, dog armor. Dog armor, and I don't think you can
Oh,
make a
come
diamond.
on.
No,
He lived on 1 HP, dude.
diamond dog armor. No, I don't
I'm
think
slow, it's because I'm dealing with my nerve pain. No problem. No, it's fine. I just.
Stacks. Actually stacks.
My luck is not there today, I don't think.
I love a nice orange
don't think it's there.
field. Just trying to see if I can fill it all up.
I haven't even gotten past the first trainer in 10 attempts, and I usually get past the first trainer at least in 10 attempts, but. Not yet.
Yeah, baby, it was me. I killed the single spider.
Jinx.
Baby. This is what happens when you farm at night, but I said earlier, I believe in my wall. Plus, yeah, I got
It's a fight.
bats now, remember? That's the next
There, so you make it
sunrise.
pretty far.
I
Yeah,
farmed all night. Couldn't even get it all done.
I actually got all the way to
Can't see the
Fantina
whole piece
with
of
the
land.
Kangaskhan the other day.
Man, I need to build a place to marvel.
But,
I think I'm good enough to handle this. I already regret the villager in my house. Get out of here, Jim. Go on. Get. You'll find
oh wow,
another
finally beat the rival
time
again.
for
Nice.
construction. Got a lot of wood from stealing it from the villagers.
If this Jinx wasn't so slow, I'd actually be tempted to use it. But Ice Psychic is just an awful type. Look at this. 6 weaknesses and only 2 resistances? Bro, Ice Psychic is one of, if not the worst typing in the entire game. Literally.
I could die right here.
It is such a bad typing.
Oh wait,
It's
I
like-
put myself in. Yeah, right.
No.
So smart. Oh, right, my bed. Do layer after layer. It's gotta be solid cobble. I'm not sure how this looks, but I can see the whole town for sure. Good view.
Yo, Dylan, what's going on, dude? Welcome in. It's been a while.
Is there any water?
Ice Type is rough. I hate how much they poo on Ice Type.
Do I jump?
Yeah, I know. Ice Type's a
Look, it's great
cool
view
type.
up here. You see the whole
No pun
town,
intended.
even the church.
But it's
Cast
not
forth from the
great
bosom of the
defensively at
Northern
all.
Empire. I think I can do this. I think I can get down. I got plenty of cobbies. I'm gonna do a reverse spiral staircase. Yes, and just build it on the way down. Look at how tall the ceilings are when you do it that way. That's beautiful. Oh no. Just gotta put in a few blocks at the bottom for extra storage. Wow, what a great view of all this
Whose
land
phone
that
just
I
went
can't
off, guys?
go to.
Come on.
I could always poke
Unprofessional.
English and just
Got a
see the
stream here.
world is my village. For what it's worth, I'm having fun. Like a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun. You got to try this one. Farm's looking really nice. A lot of it isn't fully grown, but most of it is. I'm not going to sell any till I can't replant anymore.
Alright, our speed is awful, so I fully expect to die before we make it to the first trainer.
That's-
Mr. Bibe!
Some storage area.
I'm gonna catch the Mr. Bibe.
I was going to do blocks. 2 blocks. Yeah.
Mr. Vibe.
It'd be a great place for
Is
it.
there a doctor villager?
I used to not like
This is my
Mr.
farm.
Mime, but after I used it in my Let's Go Eevee Let's Play, I like Mr. Mime.
Stuff in it.
At least after Gen 5, because it could, the fairy type makes it like really good. Makes it. Mr. Mime went from a okay Pokemon to a really decent Pokemon.
Max out the land with carrots.
Um,
I've got so many, and boom, more keep growing.
I'll go
all
for
the
the
time.
Slowking.
Who wants a job? Life
'cause of the fairy
for
typing.
purpose. Great. There we go. Every 22 carrots.
I haven't run a
is an
Slowking, I don't
emerald.
think.
Just wanna see
In a while.
what it
Doing
all
well.
looks
Hope
like
you've
all
been doing
done.
well. I have.
Gives me
I have been doing well.
motivation, Okay. Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
Glad you've been doing well. Oh my gosh.
I declare a holiday.
Too bad you only have one special move, because
because
this thing's actually pretty good.
While I just leave the game on, my crops will grow. Never heard of this holiday? Well, it's starting right now. Okay, that's some good fertilizer. Got
Glad to
me
hear.
drink. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It's ready to grow now.
I'd be doing even better if I could get a runner, but
I do know. I've never done one before.
you
but
know,
I kinda understand
the grass
game.
is always
I need
greener.
villagers for it, so it's almost a perfect idea. 2 days of solid labor, and I'm already like, yeah, let's
Wow,
automate
I lived on
this.
2
Wow,
HP
I
there.
doubt I can
Well, at
use
least I finally make it past the first trainer. I mean,
Let's see one farmer. You're about to get it, dude.
Although if I struggled that much against an Ekans, I can't imagine how
full farmers there.
the rest of this is gonna go. I might have to check the fishing encounters.
Isn't the next day. All right, Jim, come on in. Come on. I'm sorry. I know it's raining. I know. Just get in the house. Get in. Oh, he wants iron or a buttload of money. Okay. Golems. Golems. How did you even get up there?
You're gonna run them for stream ends. I hope you're right, Dylan, because
I figured out how they get in the sheet panel.
because that'd be nice.
Getting iron that method will undoubtedly be incredibly slow.
Wish my HP was a little lower and my speed was a little higher, but other than that, this thing's pretty good.
I've made highly
Water Psychic's not a great defensive type though, but it's like, it's better than Ice Psychic, that's for sure.
Automation would
So,
be awesome.
really can't complain that much.
Anything automatic and just keep farming carrots the normal way. With real hard
Good runner
labor,
coming.
enough land, I'm gonna beat automation every time. And it's not like, you know, I can
Electric
go anywhere.
type,
I'm kind of stuck here. I'm
let's go
basically a
bulk up.
villager.
Poison Fang,
On this
ow.
side of the village, the road stops about right here. I've been wanting to walk over to this piece of iron. It's been staring at me. It's just been in view this whole time. I mean, there's a hut right there, but
Oh, frick you with the
Questionable
paralysis.
ethics on this iron here.
I might
doing
die
this
here,
survey
actually.
'cause I want more farmland. No,
I mean, I'll
don't
try to
give
win,
up.
but it's
I
not
think
looking
very
great.
legally I can bring it out to this line. I mean, that's a legal road. Okay, I'll be responsible here. I won't go crazy. Okay, that's a few hundred more carrot plots very easily. Love this terrace farming. My bad, wasn't recording. I found some silverfish down here.
No, we live to see another day.
They were here, I swear.
Relatively.
Something's going down here
Yes.
with this silverfish. It can't be a coincidence. I mean, they're not actually with the armor in my pants now. They're not as silver.
Alright, we'll go at least see what the fishing encounters are, but
hold on.
I'm not gonna get my
That
hopes
is
up.
way more. I hear a zombie too. Oh, okay. Big cave, big cave. I don't want to stray too far. I may not have the rights to mine down here. But I just want to see, is there like a stronghold right by me or something? What's with all the silverfish? Oh, there's lava! There's lava! This diamond I will have to assess. And maybe not die from this skeleton too. Anyway, I've been digging underneath that tower that your dad really likes for some reason. So it really depends on that cave's placement. I'm hoping most of it's under the village.
Mr. Vibe!
Survey. I'm excited, Jim.
Ooh, it's got some good moves.
Here for my own notes. Okay.
Yeah, I'll try to catch the Bister Vibe, honestly. I vibe with the Bister
The
Vibe.
village goes out a lot further, actually. It's a lot of land. But I don't really rule that area, so I'm not going to count it, at least for now. I'll say I can use that land if I go develop it. I just don't want to. So now I've got the coordinates of a 70 by 70 block square that I can mine in. And let's just see where that cave falls. Yeah, unfortunately,
If the Slooking's moveset wasn't so bad, I wouldn't be as eager to pivot, but moveset's not gonna get me anywhere, I don't think.
About the lava. Lava would have been awesome. Okay, there's the bedrock.
Unfortunately.
I've made it. There's a little bit of lava in here somewhere.
Minecraft in the top right, too. Yeah, I don't get a whole lot of traffic in my stream, so I just watch YouTube on stream. I don't even care anymore. It's not even like I'm monetized either. I don't give a crap.
Here is the very southern edge of the town, and the
Worst that they could do to me is copyright claim me, but like, whatever. It takes up less than 20% of the screen, and I'm commentating on it, so it's technically legal. Oh my gosh, what the frick is this? Look at this Mr. Mime, what the frick?
What are you looking at? What's going on? Oh, okay.
It's not bad. Got a lot of physical attack, though, that I can't take advantage of because I don't have any physical moves, but it's not bad. It's not bad. I'll go check the other fishing encounter, though, just in case. But I wouldn't mind trying to run this thing.
Oh, step on stuff sometimes with the terrace. I'll lose a little bit of farmland for a clean way through.
The fact that Mr. Mime could be a female is so hilarious. Yeah, I'm not gonna get her knee ran. I'm good, I'll pass. Alright.
I should probably build a wall out here. If that was a creeper, I could be dead. Okay, that's that.
We're running this Mr. Mime. Win, lose, or fail.
I mean, not even a full day. I got a lot of moonlight left. Money time. That'd be a perfect.
Money time, boo doo doo doo.
Light savings on 33 golden carrots. That's worth it. Have a cake, Jim. That's Jim's cake. The cake on the ground. Diamond shovel. Check the diamond shovel.
The first physical move coming away. I hope you're right. We don't get it till level 15 though. Hopefully that's before Barry, but I can't. I can't guarantee anything, obviously. At least Air Slash can flinch. That's really nice.
Except the spider. That can get
What's the flinch chance? 30%? Wow, that's pretty good.
Pro gamer.
I really want bulk up. Honestly, with how bad our defense is, bulk up would be pretty nice. But the thing is, I don't have a physical move to take advantage of yet. So if I do get bulk up, I don't want it yet.
Okay, I have an idea. This is gonna be a hard.
And I would rather have reflect over light screen because again, my defense sucks.
Major trench.
But
wow, I actually actually want a creeper right now. Okay, it sees me. It sees me. What's it gonna try to do?
Let them.
Let them. Understand what I'm doing. I'm maybe trying to make a monster farm out of this. Use this dead land to spawn monsters. I definitely attract them, right?
Okay.
I mean, look
Come
at
on, guys.
Jim, why you keep switching beds? What's up with that, Jim? I thought you were supposed to pick one, Jim. Now, I'm not building a monster farm here, like the tall, ugly mushrooms, no. I just want to see if I can get a little extra function out of this impenetrable trench.
Junction, what's your function?
I know it sounds dangerous, but I want pillagers and monsters to funnel in. Okay, city code on the tunnel here, if any piece is exposed to air, it has to actually be a diorite block. So this will prevent accidental shoveling, getting villagers
Plugs and clouders up the map.
That's the cost, yeah, but you either do it
Nah, you got slow start. You suck, Honchkrill.
All right, look at this. Perfect.
Get off my screen.
My first trench. Look at that.
All right, looks like we are gonna get to level 15 for the rival.
Yeah. This could kind of work. All that extra dirt I'm going to use to fix up some of this land that I kind of wrecked by building tunnels everywhere. First things first, got to build a pit. Any good trap starts with a pit.
Okay. That move sucks, but it's whatever.
And the invisible ones, that's pretty deadly. I wish I had a name tag.
I mean, it's coverage, I guess.
Good news is, I basically never go far enough away from town to ever despawn anything, so...
Oh, we died.
I might actually get this guy. Jim!
I died to a high jump kick of all things. My defense was awful though, so I guess that's not that surprising.
I'm just messing around, sorry.
Kind of funny,
I'm not gonna lie, I just came from my 5,000 days world. Like I just logged like 10 days, and I am a peasant. I just woke up just so poor. It hurts. It hurts so bad. Unfortunately, I think I'm gonna have to eminent domain this house. Got a nice pit down here. Just gotta make it lethal. I have to do a lot of work here, make sure no villagers.
Me gang.
I'm gonna take my time for sure. Zombie.
Mill tank. Actually, wouldn't mind running a mill tank.
Human, it looks kind of unassuming.
Wow, this is
okay, now you're stuck.
an interesting
my
move.
little hidey hole for slashing everybody. I think I'm on my way here. I feel this coming.
I got a
together.
crit out of one.
Tunnels are not a valid way in. I'm never gonna use these tunnels to actually go inside the town. I'm gonna have two almost equal tunnels next to each other, but whatever, it's all gonna work. I got shovels real long, baby. Okay, I think I'm open for business.
They cannot think he only sees.
Very focused on getting this thing ship shape. All right, let's have a little fun. See if I can get something to attack me. Hello. Yeah, I got a golem out there. I don't think anything's getting in. I just wanted this all ready before pillagers showed up. The random.
I guess could be good.
I really built it with them in mind, and I think it's pretty good.
It's all right.
Something's weird. Golem's doing work out here. Look at all this free loot just laying on the ground. Thanks, bro.
Yeah, higher crit chance. I think I'm
gonna
try to get oh, we got the freeze. Holy cow, this might be meant to be.
Besides a basic spider, we'll get through that. Yeah, all this trench here.
Whoa. Thank you for mod selections. Thank you.
I could totally
Appreciate
see that happening.
All right, do we run this? If we could get Calm Mind, honestly.
Enderman right there. Okay, this section right here, this is not.
I don't think we do on this
All I
though.
gotta do is make this fence too high. Just really want to force anything and everything.
15 power points is not a lot. I'd have to get insanely good TM luck in order for this thing to run, and I just don't see that happening.
Whole double chest full of carrots there. That's nice. Let's cash these in before everyone goes to sleep. Free diamond pickaxe. Well, I mean, not free. My own labor. Just turned carrots into diamonds. I knew this village would work out eventually, just with a little bit of work. Oh, update on the spider. It totally despawned. I think at some point when I was building the tunnels underneath, I went too far away. Without a name tag, that was going to be pretty tough to keep that guy. But it would have been sweet. I've never trapped an invisible spider before. Gonna start working on this armor here. It's gonna take a lot of money, but eventually I'll get diamonds. I know it's just one little piece, but those diamond shoes, they mean a lot. At this point, I just need more money. I'll have full diamond. All from one village. I knew I'd get here eventually. The villagers are kind of OP. I've been holding off on this for a long time now, but
All right, let's see what's in the grass.
I need myself a villager breeder. I don't even like saying that. If it weren't for these two nitwits, the two unemployed ones, I'd be fine.
I forgot Pelipper exists.
I need a villager breeder.
Dragonite's illegal.
Different villager traders, and they're all.
Alright, let's go check the lake encounters.
I can only get stuff from the villagers. The only real issue is I've constructed this place like a literal fortress. There really isn't a good spot to put one, and there's not a lot of real estate. So that will explain the atrocity you are about to witness. You know, if something's made of raw cobblestone, it's not going to be good.
Cobblestone.
Going out and getting any block I want, I kind of got to use what I have. And I've got a good amount of cobblestone from all the mining. Kind of sticks out like that, and I don't like it. Let me go see what I can do. I know of these two villager houses down here that no one lives here. And I've been kind of saving them for a time like this. I know, man, I'm working on it. I got to get a leather worker, and I can get a saddle. Then I can get you out of that hole. It's okay.
We have to go check the fishing encounters, honestly.
You can always count on me, baby. Yeah, you know I'm your dad, baby. Yeah.
Happy
Oh no, I
feast
can
eve,
try to
everybody.
catch a
Let's see what I can
PepePals.
do about this villager
PepePals could be
breeder.
good,
I don't even like
especially if
calling
it's got
him that.
intimidate, or not
It just
intimidate.
feels
Well, actually
gross.
intimidate, yeah, sure, but
Yeah,
also
kinda bring
especially
it into the villager aesthetic
levitate.
here a bit. Few things of mossy cobblestone.
Normalize.
Yeah,
Literally
the
one of
moving
the worst
mildew
moves
makes these
or abilities in
dirty
Dragon.
people feel right at home. I might be able to do oak floor. Wow, I'm wasting a ton of cobblestone here. No,
Right.
wait, no, don't fall in this hole and be lost forever. No. A little bit of glass would be awesome.
See what the other.
Just don't
Let's see what
see it. You know,
the
other day I
last
built a
encounter is with the
sandbox.
grass here.
I was going to get sand.
We know there's
but it's hard to
Pelipper
find
Dragonite.
sand for it. I guess we're in some sort of sand shortage. I mean, I don't know.
Oregon
Go to the
Z.
beach.
I might
Just
not
wanna check here.
should have run for
Follow
that
the road.
because
It's all
I
in.
don't know if I can find a
Yeah,
level
this
6 of it or
road
not.
stops before it touches any sand,
Oregon Z's the
unfortunately.
pretty good
I
though.
haven't actually been in this church. I'm just gonna steal some
I'll
stuff
either-
and leave.
I'll keep going this grass till either I find a level 6 Porygon or I find evidence that I cannot get a level 6 Porygon.
I'm not sure.
Because there's 4 Pokemon that spawn in this route, and one of them cannot be level 6.
I might have villagers
So
so for now, I'm not gonna do one. Oh, and that door, that's not right.
possible that
That's not
Porygon
right.
cannot be level
It's still
6.
basically a cobblestone box, but it's a little better. A little. I tried my best, villagers. I really did. I would like the bell right here. I'm hoping eventually this.
Oh, that's Floatzel. Okay, I'll take a level 6 of Floatzel or Porygon Z, whichever one I find first.
It's just kind of hard, guys.
Either would be I'd be fine with.
Balance villager freedom. Trying to balance safety. It's all very difficult being mayor. I'm gonna go to sleep early tonight.
It ain't easy
Excited
being
for
mayor.
feast day. Happy feast day, Jim. Oh, you don't know what that is? Oh, I thought you were aware. All right, plan on this feast day is just I'm making babies.
Well, this might take a while.
The breeder, it's a good day for it. Oh, I almost forgot. I would also like to free these two. My axe just broke. Yes, I originally locked these two up for safety, and I think they'll be okay. I never liked having them locked up.
Any minute now.
Until I got all the walls up. But yeah, I think even if there was a raid, 3 raids, I'd be just fine. I can't wait to test that theory, villagers. And I'm sorry you're the guinea pigs, but I think you'll all be okay. All right, happy feast day, villagers. Make me some more.
I'm gonna find a
employees.
shiny before I
Thank you,
find
Thank you.
this
Oh,
level 6, aren't I?
yeah, they know what's up. It's also good to have children running around. They'll find any holes in my walls. Get all the beds in the same spot. It doesn't seem the most humane, but I tell you, they like it this way. Sorry, Jim.
Honestly, normalized would have been insanely broken if what instead is it made all the opponents moves do normal type. That would be insanely broken. Holy crap! Especially for a Probo Pass, could you imagine? They would do nothing to me.
You find a village, you live there. It really has
Or
been just so
SpongeBob
much
narrator
fun.
voice.
For sure,
Oh,
Jim.
there we go. Finally, yeah,
I can't get anything
3,000
to
years
work.
late though.
Even
As soon as you
if
say that, I find it.
some bamboo from the jungle could
Cosmic
use
power
that
can be
sticks.
good.
Or another portal over there. Hey, some free obsidian. You never know. Sand. I'd love a little sand. I don't know how many of you out there actually do. But I'll say this one is definitely one you want to try.
It sucks.
Sorry, a lot going on yesterday. I totally forgot about feast day cake. I really, this is a little embarrassing. But I'll put it there, and we'll pretend that I put it there yesterday. I was just kind of preoccupied thinking about how I'm gonna get rid of these nitwits. Here's my bright idea.
I'll try to get to the
Banish
fish
them.
encounters. And honestly, it might not even be worth it.
Oh, no.
I wouldn't be able to run away from the fishing encounter.
There's no way you're getting back in. I was just trying to banish the green guys, not the brown guys. At least we'll get this one out. We'll deal with that other one in a second here.
Yeah,
Live by
okay,
the
just put me
church
out of
or
my
whatever,
misery.
I really don't care. With this terrain,
Miss Zapkin twice in a row anyway.
a villager with a job is just worth so much more. Where'd that one go? I would bet you anything he's trapped in the tunnel somewhere. Yeah, there he is. So I'm waiting on a few things here. I'm waiting on villager babies to grow up. I'm waiting on my crops to grow up. And I think I need storage because you are looking at my home here. Yeah, and this is the state of what I live in. Now I did a tunnel underneath my house, so I should be able to do a
Right,
side
gang.
floor.
Ugh.
It's kind of a cheat code in Minecraft to just build on down.
Honestly, for an
Dig out
EV,
your
it's pretty good.
basement, have all your house be underground. I don't need a huge storage room. You know, it's not like I can get that many items here. I just want to put some of them away.
Ouch.
Maybe give me
I actually
some
lived though. Holy
room
crap.
in my actual house.
Oh, if I landed one more time, I would have won.
Government,
That sucks.
You didn't know that? Oh no, Jim, get in. Jim, stop, please. No, there's too many that look like you. I need a name tag. Sorry, Jim. I'm so sorry. You're just. Oh no, now I'm in here with you. Okay, it's nighttime now, and Jim has not come home. I thought for sure because he likes to sleep in my house. His bed is paired there. I thought for sure he'd come at night. But it looks like he's one of these 4. There is no way to tell. There's really no way to tell which one is
Right game. Glaceon could be good.
Come to an end sometime, yeah. They say if you love them, let it go. And if that doesn't work, there's always lava.
Okay.
Just moving over items today. I'm a little depressed from gym
Oh,
being
frick
gone.
off. You have Zap Cannon.
Full storage doing nothing for me.
Yeah, we both
Alright,
got fully
well,
paralyzed. That's funny.
cleaned out the apartment here. Now I just
Alright,
got
well,
my
I
bed.
mean, beat the rival. What do you think, guys? Should I try to run it?
Check the
If I could get bulk up, honestly,
rare chest
it would be really good.
yeah,
The thing with bulk up would be pretty good.
Shovel has Fortune 1. I'm gonna knock all these down with it. I don't know if it's really gonna do anything.
Shovel's just a 40 base powered normal type
I think it works
beef.
with hoes for sure. I don't know about shovels. Hey, how did you find your way back up here? Well, yeah. Didn't seem to matter. I got about a double chest again. Yeah, that might be a fortune hoe. I gotta establish. Love a good money day. Let's see what it's looking like. Oh, look at me, full diamond. Full diamond. That happened a lot faster than I thought. That was a really nice armor. Oh, wow. Okay, well, I guess it's time to just keep working on that diamond sword, because now I got this iron one. It's just kind of embarrassing. I'll spare you the details. I need myself some more iron. Find a good spot where I can legally do some mining here. Right over by my tunnel, I'll just do a little bore. Oh, more lava. I haven't been able to tunnel like this with a diamond pick yet. It's much faster. I'm really still at the point where any material is useful material, so all of this can be used to build more things, more wall, that kind of stuff. Mining up all this tough. I'm told there's iron here if I just keep mining. Wow, the internet lied. Okay, so iron trip kind of sucked.
Well, the internet never lies. Come on.
I'm sure, but I do have an idea.
Lucario!
My ideas, you know, they changed the world.
Defensive
I
typing.
really can't have a golem in here.
That's actually pretty good. I mean, Steel Type's always pretty good, but
Here, just really don't want to start a fire.
I'll just stick with my Glaceon for now.
Okay, I hope I do this right. All right. Got a cobble generator working. Trapped a zombie.
Oh, frick off.
That must have wandered in. All right, I can sell stone. I can.
Don't you dare.
I'm just gonna see how.
Are you kidding me?
My crops are also.
Dude, that's such bull.
Okay, pickaxe is about to break. That's all the cobblestone I got. It feels a bit low. Okay, this is a very budget auto smelter here. I need one more hopper on the side to make it fully automatic. I want to see how much that's gonna cook up. Really ripped up my basement building it. Ooh, oh my. Sounds like I caught a few critters here. Ah, a bunch of zombies. Look at that. All right, well, good news is it seems to be working as intended. It's trapping monsters. Probably some extra profit laid in there. Oh, and an ender pearl. I didn't have to nearly die fighting an enderman for it. And sorry, golems, but I'm still gonna do this for iron. All right, little
Oh,
farming,
no
little
special
cotton
defense.
picking. Should be doing good on money. Why do I hear cat suffocation? Well, hi. Jim?
I got past arrival, but wow, we have like no speed whatsoever.
Certified profitable. Ooh. Oh, look at a creeper.
I think it's not gonna be fun to pivot with.
Say it with me. Build a wall. Oh, yeah.
I'm gonna outspend one shot by a special move. I already see it coming.
Sounds like I caught a traitor. Oh, I caught one. Look at that. Give me that pickle. All right. Tunnel's already profiting. Okay, a little pumpkin area here in the garden. Not sure if that's really gonna have the time to be profitable in the end, but I'll try. Ha-ha, Diamond Axe! Diamond Axe, I don't always get that one. Just need that elusive sword and then I'm full kit. I do kind of have an idea here. I want to see if this will work. I got lava right underneath me, but it's sort of a pain going up and down these holes. So I'm going to try to make a fast way down here. Just right through the middle. You know what? This might be a huge safety hazard now that I look at it. Yeah, I should probably pause construction of this and just walk up and down the normal way. Little obsidian here. So I'm actually going to head on down to the nether. I just don't know where to put the portal. I don't really like hearing it, and I don't want any villagers jumping in. You know what? I bet if I go deep enough down the bore, I'm not going to hear it. Flint and steel. Never built with tough bricks before. They look kind of nice. Have a little glaze to them. Off-center portal.
I've never had to heal, but
okay, I gotta go do some numbers.
That's probably a lie, but
like
feels like it.
Coordinates
Anyway.
and stuff. I don't know what of this is under the village, but I'm gonna find out. Hey, whoa, whoa, whoa! Thanks, Golem. Appreciate it. Was really hoping for like one piece of quartz, just didn't get it here. Well, you already know that wasn't the primary plan. I'm gonna tunnel down in the nether. I'm hoping to drill down, hit some lava at the very least. Oh, it's too far. Okay, there goes that plan. And with how the nether works, that's about all I can mine.
Dude, what are these
One
mines,
bright
bro?
day for better lava. Everything's just kind of so close together. I'm trying to build a quicker way down here, but it's so close to this tunnel connected to my traps. Oh, you know, I forgot. I can sell diorite granite. That stuff's everywhere. If you mine it and sell it, it's not bad. There we go, little diorite. Look at all this diorite. Look at all this stuff. All worth money.
Yeah, there's Deoxys and Jigglypuff. Neither of those are gonna be helpful to me.
Here. Let's see. Boom, there it is. I can see it. I just need the money. Not even gonna do a full farm here. Just want to do a quick one. Wake up! There we are. Full diamond armor, full diamond tools. Only in a village. I know they sell them. It's in a chain.
Might be a dead end file legit.
Proud of me, aren't you, Jim? Empty feeling.
So there's no way I'm gonna get past the first 3 trainers. And even if I do, it's gonna be suck so freaking bad to pivot to them because of how slow I am.
Money for sure, at least. Yeah, I just need something automatic. If I had something automatic,
I guess I'll never know because I can't find anything other than Zubat in this route.
I just need
So
2 emeralds a day and I can eat forever. Problem is,
okay, yeah, I'm just gonna reset now.
Nether, so I think I'm gonna have to kill those dreams for at least right now. Maybe a trader will show up.
Not even worth my time.
Listen, you're not Jim. You never will be.
Been like a really long time since I've encountered a dead end file.
Plus, I always kind of thought like I would punch him or something, and then I'm stuck in there with him. All right, night terror time. Need a leather worker. That's what the iron was for. And just like that, I'm broke. Never ends, does it? Just never ends. Anyway, there's something I want to do today that I always.
That was depressing. Yeah, it really was. That one could be good.
Gonna forget this time.
Levitate.
Oh man.
Interesting.
Oh, it's been a long day. Oh, I need some fishing. I guess a little pond right there wouldn't be too bad. Okay, let's see if this works. Just dig a little pond here. Okay, a little fish.
I got out the lab.
The currents are a little weird in there. I hope that doesn't matter. Yeah, I hope this. Oh, it doesn't really reach that well. I really hope I don't regret.
Is this thing worth running?
But I think it should be fine. It's
probably not.
Absolutely nothing gets up that. I shouldn't say I forget this every time, but I almost always forget it. And you can get some really good stuff from just fishing for a few days. I also just kind of want to stand outside because I feel like maybe I missed some pillager spawns. Normally by day 62.
Yeah, I just don't think this thing's strong enough to do any real damage.
I've been fishing in the rain though, I gotta say.
Unless I got like
still 62 days.
I don't know, set up move.
A nice spot for it. All right, let's do this right.
I don't think this thing's a runner.
Let's do it. Nice job, zombie. That's a real pufferfish right there. I can fish and drown the zombies at the same time. I'm just collecting them at this point. So what am I really fishing for besides the unmatched vibes here? Well, a book. I need 3 books to make, right? 3 books? If I get 3 books, I make a bookshelf, and then I can make a librarian and maybe get some good stuff. Even just crafting books will be tough for me, right? You need cows, you need sugar cane. Both of those things are kind of difficult to get up on the plateau in the village. It's not like I can leave. And my crops are growing, so that's good. Yo, that one definitely just stole my fish right there. Give me my fish back. If you're gonna steal my stuff, you're all getting the axe. What are these pumpkins? Yeah, pumpkins.
Encounters, man. Not getting any good encounters.
No replanting on those pumpkins. That's nice. That's convenient. Unfortunately, only one of my guys buys them though. Ooh, I don't think I have any more string.
A Heatran with download? That's freaking terrifying.
Come here. At the very least, I'm gonna get a little kitty friend. Wow, that took so
Look at this could be good.
fish.
I'm gonna go for level 6, obviously.
All right, come on, Tubby, let's go to sleep. I'm gonna rip the door off just for you, Tubby. Come on in. After all that's happened,
I forgot to find more
think I need a
Pokeballs.
cuddle, Tubby. Unfortunately, I don't think I can go right back to fishing. I just don't have any string. I checked. Should have stayed up all night killing spiders or whatever, but here I am. So anyway, I have another idea. Oh, there's a little quartz right there. I kind of doubt that's within the village.
Wow.
Well, let me take a measure.
Look at this. What the frick am I looking at right now?
I can already tell the quartz is like way out there.
This is kind of sad, but I'm gonna have to see what's in this route.
A little bit of quartz.
There's the Aggron.
Any bit of quartz, I can start building stuff that's automatic. Well, stopping me from digging up. Maybe it's
Ladybug.
above me.
With Snowstorm.
Nothing above.
Honestly, the Aggron's looking mighty tempting.
Probably burn some of the daylight
All right.
upstairs. Let's go see.
I mean, there's still 2 more encounters up in this route. I didn't see it, so it's like.
I wonder if those nitwits died. I mean, I don't really
Gotta see what
care.
those are, maybe.
While I'm here, might as well grab some of these birch trees. Here we go.
It's gonna take a while because the legendary encounters may take like 5 years longer because they're stupid.
I only assume they've been eaten. Once I kick them out, I truly don't care what happens to them.
Oh my gosh, burn me.
2 fishing rods, that's enough for me.
I might legit have to pivot. I can either pivot to the Aggron or try to get through the trainers.
Come on, book. I really need.
I'd rather go with the Aggron.
All right, I'm giving up on fishing for now. These normal.
I'll try to get through the trainings with the Aggron if it's not good.
It's just giving me fish. Though I might as well make myself a fisherman here.
Yeah, I really don't have much of a choice.
See if the fisherman will sell me anything good. Here he comes.
I only have 2 balls. I should have got more. I'm an idiot.
Okay, I'll 3 emeralds
Ledge
for a
bomb?
bucket. Yeah, that's a decent
Pretty good,
deal,
actually.
my guy. Get out of here, fish!
Alright, I gotta go buy more balls.
And a cow. I definitely hear I caught a traitor. There he is. Nothing here incredibly life-changing, to be honest. Everyone's distracting me today. I just gotta get to farming. Oh man, I gotta poop. He took a long, wide dump. One of those good ones where it doesn't hurt too bad. You know, a little. You can feel it's there. Wait. What's killing the cats? What was that? What's with the cat smoke? Tubby, you're an indoor cat. Today's the day. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it today, I'm telling you. I would like to announce that hardcore Minecraft is officially about vanity. I've got leather, dyed armor on, while wearing my donkey. Yeah, at some point I had to declare it.
Alright, Aggron be good. Or don't. I really don't care anymore.
Anything right now. Yeah. Capitalism. It's been so good to me. Capitalism and walls. That's all you need. We do not have books. We cannot read.
I'm gonna try to see what the fishing encounters are.
I mean, I've been waiting on pillagers.
If I can get there, obviously.
Now, like I'm eager. I'm eager for war. If that's not capitalist, I don't know what is. All right, I know I'm missing a few villager trades here. Might as well knock those out. I'm rich. Glowstone. Nice.
Yeah, okay.
Got a little light in the pond. To further
That was a
state
fun waste of time, but
hardcore Minecraft
you know.
is officially about vanity. Happy day 6-9, pig. Stone as a money source wasn't good before because I didn't have buckets. I think this is gonna be a hot day 6-9. You'll see. If I can get good lava, oh yeah, all these buckets of lava. Using lava to cook stone, it's kind of automatic. I mean, a little bit.
Oh no, Ampharos runner. I've
down your mouse to mine
ever since I came back to Platinum Kaizo, I've not gotten a single Ampharos,
real
and I want that to
probably
change.
useless because he sells maps, and I can only.
Why do I keep getting such slow mons? My gosh.
That's good stuff.
Either I get slow mons or I get fast mons with no attack.
Making noise makes me think there's a traitor. Fill this bottom in a little. Things might get stuck. Truly, you don't want things getting stuck. Trapped? Oh yeah, you want things getting trapped. Stuck? No. There's a difference. I am outside the wall, actually. Put my real armor on. Just because I've got good stuff doesn't mean I have to be an idiot. Yeah, this is really tough terrain down here. It's very possible pillagers got lost. Okay, cleaned up the land a bit here, and now I think it's a little easier for everything to at least get its way into the tunnels. And again, whole reason I'm even down here is these llamas. They got stuck. I'm trying
So I body slam and I can't even take advantage of it because my attack sucks.
Shows up. I want it to naturally find its way into my tunnels. Yeah, man, like this bridge. You think a pillager's gonna?
I'm just not even gonna finish that round fight. It's just a waste of time.
Oh, look at that. Wouldn't it be great to come up here and just see some... Oh, hey, hey, Tubby. I had an idea. You may not like it. I don't care. Okay, I think I'll be able to make this happen. My measurements work out perfectly on this side here. You got these extra blocks. Over here, I'm a little bit off for what I'm about to do, but that's okay. I'll never see what I'm about to build from this angle. I guess this is one of the first perks here. Oh, I will also point out, this is definitely kill me height for falls. Okay, Tubbs.
Ampharos! I was so close!
Going up, you already know what I'm building. Yeah, I'll be building a depiction of my greatness there. 2 sides of the face. Should look pretty good. I just hope I have enough stuff for this. Well, I never really sold or meat. But finally, after 70 days, this...
Imagine no guard with guillotine. Oh my gosh.
Appreciate it. Remember, no mixing.
I was literally like 1 off. I'm so sad.
Sculpt this from the inside. That way I'm never really going out on the ledge. Okay, I know it's not going to look great. I always got to color match later. Oh, dang it. No, he's cross-eyed! And his nose is dirt, obviously. That's so dumb, I think I have to keep that now. Yeah, you know, from the inside now, I can totally see the cross-eyedness.
Charizard?
Don't know how I missed that. Okay.
Wow!
I did it right.
Look at the stats on this Charizard! What the frick?
You know, the shape part.
That is the weirdest stat spread I've ever seen in my life!
That's history, though.
What the frick?
If I did that on the bottom. Like 2 of them?
Oh my gosh.
2 of them on the bottom there. Framing
That was
could be
wild.
better, but I'm getting there. Okay, come here.
That was so wild that was actually like domesticated, honestly. It wasn't wild whatsoever, it's completely domesticated.
I believe you do have to let them roam though. So I'm gonna have 2 cats following me from now on. I'll say of all this stuff, my favorite thing to make money on has been the pumpkins. I'm thinking I just gotta keep fishing.
Looking. It's trash.
Sell me a better rod. Alright, level this guy up. Sure, cook my salmon, weirdo. Unbreaking 1. That's it.
Just put me out of my misery, thank
I got
you.
so much time left. I can get 3 books. Come on. Plus, yeah, I can listen for pillagers here. I'm right by my trap where I think they'll end up. So I'm sitting here fishing, wondering.
I wish you didn't have to do that like intro thing every single time, but whatever.
Will those books ever come? And I'm looking and listening for all of those villains, and one day I'll kill them all. Alright, sun's getting a little bit low. I'm gonna go do my rounds, make sure no pillagers.
You got stab stomp. Magic Art's pretty
All I
good.
haven't been doing is checking the premises. And nothing down in the church. Everything over here is okay. Yeah, looking good. No,
Alright, the lab
no
fight.
pillagers. Let me check something real quick. I think I might actually be connected.
Did I
to
run it?
water. That fishing pond's been dry on rare items.
I don't know.
for so long.
I can't hit ghost types.
Feeling a little
High jump
suspect.
kick's
Okay,
risky. Drain punch is
Natural
illegal.
road. I am legally
Reflect is pretty much
standing
just
in the village.
useless.
Legally.
I don't know.
That's like
I'm
an
probably
actual
not gonna run it.
proper natural body of water.
I don't have any
Don't know
special
if that
attacks to take
matters, but
advantage
I
of.
did just get a tropical fish. Cast it really far out. Really
Poor
far.
Abra.
Yes, I am looking at that side of the monument there. Oh, definitely don't want to be out here at nighttime.
I wouldn't mind
Monsters
pivoting to a
nearby.
Gorbis, honestly.
What do you mean monsters nearby?
Although I never pivot in the middle route unless I have no choice, because I would prefer to pivot to a level 6.
Okay, you just gotta go kill him.
Good side him over here.
Where's the banner boy? Oh man, don't tell me he's stuck somewhere. Come on. One thing's for sure, if any pillagers spawn on the bottom of the mountain, they're.
You guys ever noticed that the 5th badge looks like a fidget spinner?
What I mean is, as
Oh,
elaborate as
let's
my
get
tunnels are,
the
there's a good chance I
freaking
don't need 'em.
fidget
Then
spinner
on
badge.
4 bottle, I can do a raid. All right, now with that, I can finally really focus on getting this place ready. I think here, relying on nature is a foolish idea. I've done that many times before.
Yeah.
It never works out. It's gonna
Freaking.
make a real nice way down the mountain. I did want to.
These dudes aren't even gonna know what a fidget spinner is. I'll be like,
There we go.
are you serious?
Nice open way in right
I don't
to
know
the
what a fidget
tunnels.
spinner is.
I've also kind of wanted an actual way down for a while now. Every time I want to get up and down the mountain, it's parkour. It'd be nice to actually have a staircase down here. Okay, I didn't think doing paths would take all day, but it has.
Alright, good encounters, please.
Nice little.
Not that good.
staircase there. Looked pretty good in the end. All right, just for safety, I gotta demolish this house here, guys. Okay, fine. Oh, you can sleep there until I'm done. Yeah, I guess I'll sleep here. Almost done with construction. Now it's time I'm gonna have a little fun.
Did anybody ever
This
think that
bridge out.
Moltres was a
There's
Fearow that was on fire?
Let me clear the overhead. I'm working with what I have to make this.
Charizard could be good. That's a better Gen 1 fire flying type.
Looks a little better. Yeah. Before it was just like a
Debatably.
straight oak. Still kind of hard to get up there though. Yeah, it might be
Better for Kaizo because it's legal, so.
times, but I think anything in the world can get up this mountain. Last step, and this one is probably the most important. I gotta cut down these stairs. Just get rid of them. I know it's
Magmar's
debatable.
kind of tempting
That staircase
because it's
gone, nothing
pure
to
fire is
do.
better typing than fire flying.
From this angle, that's easy. They'll go right in the
So,
tunnels.
I don't know.
Best case scenario.
What do you think, Dylan? Should I go for the Charizard or the Magmar?
There's no good way for me to
Okay,
be
Charizard did it
right now.
because I found a level 6
Draw my
person.
sword. That would be bad to do in a
We
raid.
think it's pretty good,
My only
actually.
way in is this
A good,
emergency
move.
exit I built in the tunnel. So this will not be the most graceful
Alright, there you go, got it.
emergency ways up, but it will work.
Never
Like
thought
right
about
here,
that until now,
I
but
can
now I
get
can't
it
see it.
easy. Pillager, not so much. I think that means nothing should
Well,
touch you
honestly, for a
anymore.
Charizard, it's not
I'm
bad.
hoping really
Moveset's kind of,
down
but
the tunnels. Yeah, if that happens, I'm in the money.
whatever.
I am gonna try a new
I'll go check the lake encounters.
You've heard me talk about this before. I think it was the mushroom video. Because I got such a tight space here, I'm gonna try my hand at some belly wiring. So I'm on my stomach here. I fit in a 1x1 hole, and I'm gonna try my best to lay all of the redstone in this. Well, there's
Water drive. Oh yeah, that makes me immune to electric type moves, right?
One, it's completely
That means I only have
so I
2
don't even need
weaknesses.
torches. And it also takes up less space. Exactly.
Weezing's kind of tempting though.
Versus if I, dug big tunnels for all this redstone. Oh, I just went the wrong way. That's my bad. That's my
You know,
bad.
screw it. I'll just try to run the
Want the rest to
Charizard.
Flood the entire tunnel. That's the dream. I really just need separate redstone lines at each of the main entrances here. Oh, hey, zombies. Dude, you almost got blasted. You almost got blasted too, Tubbs. What are you doing? Okay, I guess for some of this, you don't actually have to be on your belly to
You need
wire
physical
up
moves
the
though,
redstone.
because
I can
Leap
just
Blade by
walk
itself
up
is
in
not
the
gonna cut it.
roadblocks
No pun intended.
slate That'll tell me, hey, don't mind here. You
Dang,
got
pun
this
should have been
redstone.
intended
See
though. That's
there?
hilarious.
If I had this whole redstone tunnel too high,
Future
we would have a
sight.
big open
I guess it's better than
cut
assist,
through
which
the
is
side of the tunnel.
literally
But if I
useless. So.
belly wire that, it's nice and flush. I know I'm strange sometimes, but I have my
Oh,
reasons.
boy.
Okay, now it's time to see how much redstone I even have.
Oh, we got the
I might
Omni
have
Boost.
Redstone. No, 97.
Use
The news
Razorwind.
is I can buy redstone from the cleric. I should be able to pay for most of them with these pumpkins. Let's get a quick sleep in. Who's banging on doors? Banging on doors. That should not be happening. Who the heck? Oh, okay. Apparently a zombie got in. There was a little bit of.
I got a crate.
Probably all my messing.
Gonna wait for the wheezing.
Here. Oh, I missed my chance to sleep. Hey, day 82 here. I think I can actually get to wiring this all up. So yeah, if I do this right, I mean it should all just sort of click in. Yeah, this side over here might need a little more love. Oh, my pickaxe! No! How do I never notice my pickaxe is like just about to break? I definitely don't have money.
All right, right, gang.
There we go. I know it's a little dark here, but it's all wired up for sure. Oh, okay. Jeez.
Hunting could be good.
Yeah, I think if I break
This one is
I can
not.
hear, like, a bunch of
What does
clicks
Leafguard
all
even
around
do
me.
again?
I didn't hear anything that time. I'm
That's
gonna really
useless.
crank these speakers. Okay, that's how I'm one fish orange.
Da, da,
friend?
da.
You want to do it for one? Come on, sometimes it works. Fine, feline. All right, this side I'm just gonna try to burn them real quick. You know, turn it on and off. Wish I could ask the fisherman to just not put the fish in the bucket. Okay, I just got all the lava in.
This is a bucket.
Let's test this here. How many times I gotta say monsters can't jump? So as long as there's a line of lava, anything that passes is gonna.
I didn't mean to pick it. Well, I guess we're gonna see what we would have gotten if I
And then if they come
didn't
into the
misclick.
middle, I want to see how fast I can flick this on and off.
Okay, it was
Use
equally
slag
as
here,
garbage.
Just quickly press the button. Okay, yeah, it just sends a little bit of fire. Is there any way it sees me here? I don't think so. Like even if I crouch and get way down in there, no. Go to the back. Yeah, no. I'm safe. And I want his item to drop. Perfect. A couple of hoppers would go a long way. Thanks for your service, Golem. How'd the donkey get out? Yeah, the reason I haven't said much about the donkey is it's kind of terrible. Like, it really is. Pretty slow.
Poor donkey.
Hardly jumps. I don't think it can do fences.
Until it could be good.
Come on. Come on, you. Get over there. Oh, there we go. I could see him getting out here.
That's how
Can't get in
get
on
a mega.
storage. That's okay. I just need wood.
Yeah,
I
I
can
guess-
do that on the donkey.
What does assurance
Can't
do
really see
again?
where I'm placing anything, but more secure now. Just got to do a little more rounds, make sure my ass don't get out. Hang out with your cousins now. Everyone get
Bam.
along, no biting. There's still a few things I can definitely get from the villagers that are going to help me out. In the
What's a
raid, so
villager?
I gotta go
I'm actually working on wearing my
Come on,
workout.
man. Good
My
bow,
workout
please,
shirt.
good
My work
bow.
shirt.
Okay, yeah.
'Cause,
power two. I'll take that.
got off
Okay,
of
I
work
did
like
have
an hour and a
one
half ago.
idea, and it kind of
And,
needs to happen
I didn't care to
pre-raid,
put
but I gotta
a
do little
different
more
shirt on.
first. Okay, here's the big reveal. I worked all day on this. What? Yeah, that's a nice silly touch for the outside, I think. Into my mouth, zombie. Okay, I'd like to do a few more mouths.
Alright,
It looks like they're all
Miggy.
a little different. The side of the plateau.
Well,
has
I'd be more
candles.
optimistic if we weren't fighting a freaking Giratina, but
That's pretty good there.
whatever.
They also look pretty awesome next to each other. Nice big
Fair
opening
song.
over here. Use your imagination a little on this one, but it's angry with teeth.
Well, we're
Whatever.
both gonna die here, I guess.
Yeah, that one's got a huge mouth, eyebrows. Sure. I might be able to fit a full size right here.
Right.
Oh yeah, full size. I'm terraforming the land just to fit this in. Tried to put a little emotion in this one, you know, like he's going. You know, he's really trying to inhale. I sacrificed some height for that mouth, but you can just go right around it and there's a full height tunnel. A too high wall is a bit overkill with this trench, but I've never regretted more wall. Look at it. I still need this. Built the wall, yeah, built the wall. I built my wall like 2 blocks tall. Okay, wasn't recording, but a baby pig in my house made me think about it. Oh man, he hits. Kinda. That brings me to my
Right,
next
gang.
point. This armor I got here, this diamond armor, it's really not that good. I just can't do it. There's no enchanting for me. If I got more iron, I could do something about it. But golems aren't going to be enough. I need more iron, so I'm going to go mining in the Holy Land. Come on, cave. Come on, cave. Ooh, a mine shaft. No way. Let me go do a check. Let me do a check here. Okay, did a little edging here just to figure out exactly where I can go. And it looks like most of this mine shaft should be legal. There's a book. Yeah. Okay, that's one. Oh, what is?
You know what Pokemon deserves a
Hold
mega?
on, this is not
Golduck.
normal. This is a spawner inside
We
a
need
mine
the
shaft.
psychic
I bet you
water
it's
type
somewhere.
Golduck
I
mega.
bet you.
Golduck deserves one so bad. Because regular Golduck's kind of eh. People would actually want to use Golduck.
You know what? Whatever. It's fine. I'm grabbing the diamonds. It's on the edge of legal, but, you know, I'm the president, so it's legal. I'm also kind of lost. What a great idea to drill in the Holy Land. So I cannot read. I don't have books. And if you don't have books, I did this in the mountain video. You just buy this diamond chest plate multiple times and smash them together with an anvil. That's gonna cost my life savings. So before I do that, I wanna try a little more fishing. If I get one more book, I get a librarian and things kinda change.
Quaxley's
I'll fish in
pure
the
water
rain.
type, right? It's not water
I'm
flying.
Fish in the thunder. Wouldn't that be a way to
I think.
die? One more fish day, and I do have a backup plan. Yeah, no book.
Oh wow,
One more
this thing's
mining
really
trip to
good.
the Holy Land.
Except
That
its
sounds
moveset's
too good
awful.
down in this mine shaft. One more changes my life.
And I'm fighting a
Long story
Dragonite, so.
short, and I don't think I'm finding a book.
Right,
in this
okay.
mine
I thought
shaft.
so.
think
I
I'm
just
called
couldn't
it.
remember because
I need
Rowlet's
money so bad,
grass
I'm about
flying,
to
so
mine
I.
some diorite. I mean, I'm not down
those-
that bad. I
y'all.
just said no to a sponsorship for a mobile game. These things normally hit pretty hard on me. Let me just test this. I'll give you one good shot. Oh yeah, much better. Power 4 bow. That's nearly the best bow in the game. I don't know where the pillagers are gonna spawn, but I think my odds are pretty good. Okay, here's the
Wrecking!
All right, everyone
Wrecking!
into the bunker.
Oh, all pretty solid mons, honestly.
They're kind of running around like crazy.
What the frick is this moveset? The frick?
Wait.
Why is it so good?
Whoa.
I mean, it doesn't matter. I'm screwed anyway. But like, what the frick? Wow, that was such a good moveset for a mixed attacker.
Not good. This is very not good. Oh no. Golems.
I run Crobat, Dustoir, and Infernape the most. I'm not surprised about the Infernape, honestly. So yeah, all the mons were so good. I actually got the worst mon. I would have taken the Tentacle or Blastoise over Pidgeot, but
The golem's on me even. The golem wants to kill me.
What are you gonna do about it?
Inside the village. That was a
Onyx.
close
Oh
one
dear
right
lord.
there. That was a really close one. I guess I'm
Wait,
on
Pure
team
Power
Pidgeot.
Onyx. This is legal. We got a legal Pure Power Onyx, guys,
Actually horrible.
and we died.
Oh man,
to
I'm gonna
Bidoof.
look back how low I was. I didn't even realize until like the second hit that the golem was whacking me. Okay, looks like they're all spawning down low. It also looks like I may have skipped a wave or two. All right, they're using the paths. Look at
I
that.
used the Water,
Sorry,
Normal,
I'm
and
on my
Steel
shit
types the
one.
most.
I think
Steel
I'm
types
too high
doesn't
up.
surprise me.
Sometimes when
Waters
you're too
doesn't
high up,
surprise me. It's the most common type.
pillagers,
And Normal
they-
doesn't surprise me. It
they
doesn't have
have
any
a hard
weaknesses,
time
so.
figuring out where you are.
But for
They-
fighting, obviously.
I think this little staircase I'm shooting them on is gonna be my best
Crobat?
thing yet. I'm having.
I'd be
trouble
more
finding
optimistic
words
if I
to
wasn't
express
fighting
myself
a
for sure.
Tyranitar.
I hope that doesn't happen.
Well, I have
again.
legal
Oh,
Giga
didn't
Drain. I
lose any
mean,
villagers. I'm gonna have to do a head count.
I
Something's
said
really
stab
wrong.
ancient power.
Rage
Of course you do.
generating. I kind of heard the horn over here. The high terrain is just making it really hard for them. Yeah, even if they can see me, they just are really having trouble getting close enough to do anything about it. I can definitely tell I'm down a few villagers, unfortunately. Good news is Fletcher's still here. Yeah, because he sells me arrows and I can use the arrows to kill pillagers. There was like 12 villagers before and I have 4 right now. That's so messed
Alright,
up. Man. They're not
breaking.
supposed to be able to spawn in the village. Okay, one pillager left
Alright.
somewhere. I'm gonna try to find him. There they are.
Thing's almost
Ha-ha.
as even as the
Yeah,
Charizard I had earlier.
This little ravine was here, so that's on me. It's a very busted raid. It said
Freeze.
one left and there was 2.
Frick.
Oh, looks like some of them might be going in the tunnel.
Yeah, we're on
There's
attempt
some guy in the
1888.
tunnel down here. There should be a totem guy somewhere. I'm looking for that guy. That's what I'm a little timid about. Yeah, this guy's really broken. He's not even putting up a fight.
I totally
And
could
started
down
the
there.
raid
He-
early.
this
I
game.
didn't start it on day 100. I knew it would take a few days, but they've just been so lost. And that village spawn, it's just, this whole thing's been cursed. Checking all the problem areas. A lot of times they got stuck under these trees. Nothing there. One thing that I really liked about Bedrock Minecraft when I played it is every like 30 seconds, the raiders will play another horn sound so you can kind of locate them. Because yeah, it can be a little frustrating when I'm trying
Dude,
to
my
do a
luck today
raid
is just
and I
awful.
can't find my
It really
enemy.
is.
There's sunset here on the town. No sign of
Hounded
it all.
by Draco Meteor.
Nothing today. Not even a
Hounded
second.
by
I'm
Draco,
still
Draco,
turned up
Draco,
to a billion. I'm
Draco.
trying to listen for these guys. This is not my jungle, but I'm desperate. I'm gonna check it. Oh, you know what? I'm now in the village, and there's no raid indicator on the top. Oh yeah, okay, that means it's over. All right, let's count the dead. You know what? Sun's about to set. It'll be easier in the morning. We'll see who doesn't show up for work. I was gonna say happy day 100. But it's kind of a somber day 100. Listen though, it's not my fault, dude. Pillagers are not.
Oh,
supposed
I forgot to
spawn
mention
anywhere
they
near
added
the
a
village. Give Bedrock Minecraft such a hard time, and look at.
They
John.
added a new rule to KAIZO.
Let's see how-
Let me find it here real quick. The Nemesis clause. I don't know if you guys can see that. Can you guys see that? Yeah, okay. Nemesis clause. I can pick one Pokemon to be my nemesis. Every time I encounter it in the wild, I may kill it if I see it. Only once, though. I can never catch it. Nemesis appears alive. You must take the Pokemon that would fight it as long as the choice is not otherwise banned, unless favorite clause is available instead. I officially declare that my nemesis is going to be Typhlosion.
How many graves?
Because
I've
frick
got
you,
to
Typhlosion.
Oh man, yeah, a lot of them. A lot of them are gone. Armorer, cartographer, weaponsmith, one of the farmers. Yeah, butcher's fine. He was hiding in my house. No, fisherman. He had a good trade. Stonecutter. Well, at least we got a nice even number of graves at 6. Worst part is I don't know if any of these guys were Jim. Yeah, mine.
So if I get a Typhlosion in the bag, then I have to pick whatever Pokemon is going to fight it.
Again, this is definitely one you want to try yourself. You just
But I officially declare Typhlosion my nemesis because I don't like Typhlosion.
Days planned, and I'm also working on 5,000 days. You can check
my
progress on my YouTube banner. Everyone just always asks me, "Hey, when's 5,000 days?"
Gotta put on a new video because
I'm gonna be living 100 days in this.
We finished the video. Oh, what is okay? My freaking YouTube is having a heart attack. All right, put on this video.
Welcome back to my Cuphead boss analysis. If you haven't seen the last video, I analyzed all 19 of the extraordinary bosses in Cuphead.
All 19?
Each a grade and choosing my favorite death quotes as part of Pun Appreciation Hour. Today we're going through the delicious last course, analyzing the King's Gauntlet, the Angel and Devil, and all 6.
Wow, 2 middle stage Hoenn starters.
Last video, the final grades are often going to end up coming down to my personal opinion.
Yeah,
grades,
I watched in another stream. I watched him analyze the bosses in Cuphead, and now I'm watching the same video, but him analyzing the DLC bosses.
But have something holding them back. A-grade bosses are the highlights you want to replay a game for, and the S-grade bosses are those fights that won't leave your head. So let's bring our Cuphead journey to an end. The delicious last course is a tough DLC to beat. The things demanded by the player, especially at the
I liked the DLC. I mean, I prefer the original bosses, but the bosses were still like good.
The
I still
player
enjoyed.
is, of course, free to jump in with the same loadout that they took.
I can't, dude. I hope they make a Cuphead 2, dude, because that would be amazing.
One of the most notable being the
I mean, Cuphead's already a pretty much perfect game, but they could definitely take the criticisms from the first one and just improve upon it. And I think Cuphead 2 has the potential to be better than Cuphead 1. That's how I feel about the Five Nights at Freddy's movie. I think the second one's gonna be better than the first one because they're gonna take the criticism from the first one and they're gonna improve upon it, and it's just gonna be so much better. I think, and I will stand by this opinion. I fully believe that the marionette has the potential to be one of the greatest characters in all of movie cinema because it's got such a great story / lore in the games. I think they could do a lot with the marionette in the movies. I really do. I think it's got really, really good potential. Should I run this Crobat? It's a little slow, but though that moveset's kind of insane.
Though the player can choose whether to fight these bosses with the brothers or Chalice, all of them encourage using Miss Chalice instead for her unique dash and movement abilities. Players are not able to shoot to attack or use super arts inside the gauntlet, meaning that the only way to deal damage is to parry the boss. Every boss in the gauntlet is themed on a chess piece, as the player works their way up to the final duel with the queen. Naturally, that means we begin with the pawns. 8
This thing has
pawns
speed
press
boost.
the top of the
It would have been
arena,
great.
doing a little wiggle before
But now
jumping
it's just
down and
good,
landing across the
unfortunately.
floor. Each pawn can be parried once, and once every pawn has been parried, the battle is over. Out of the 31 entries I'm considering individual boss fights, this is the simplest fight in the roster by a pretty...
I don't like running slow mons, but this moveset is too good to pass up.
The pawns aren't here to challenge the player, they're here to introduce...
Frick off, Groudon! With the Dragon Rage, dude! Come on! At least give me a chance.
As the boss begins, Miss Chalice is still easier to use here. Standing on the ground and dashing at a pawn coming at you is always going to be easier than timing your landings, especially once multiple pawns are dropping down at one time. That said, the pawns aren't a tall order on the brothers either, meaning they do struggle to push an uninquisitive player towards Miss Chalice. The only frustration in this fight comes when the last surviving pawn refuses to jump down. It never takes extremely long, but especially since the pawns...
Cool Lava doesn't count, it's the pre-evolution. It has to be Typhlosion. Specifically, I think. I really don't even know, to be honest.
Contrary to the rest of Cuphead's design. Cuphead puts a lot of focus in terms of its design energy towards making sure that the player is able to control the pace of the fights. And the pawns are the first fight that really breaks that pattern. The pawns earn a low C grade. They do serve their role as a mini-boss, but they aren't interesting enough to sell the player on the gauntlet, and the fact that they take so much of the locus of control away from the player makes them not particularly fun to refight, even if it is a quick battle. Moving up the value of chess pieces,
I really like the knight.
and despite being the second to
The level curve for fighting the knight is really satisfying. At first it feels freaking impossible, but once you get it down, he's like really satisfying to fight.
The knight cannot be shot at and needs to be parried 20 times. The knight is defensively focused, however, and can only be parried in the moments after he finishes attacking, taking the pace of the fight even more into his control than the pawns are.
Oh, I wish I could have had Drapion, dude. It had freaking stab feint attack.
A dash across the screen that the player jumps over, giving an opportunity to parry during the dash and at the end of the attack. Second, he winds up into a huge upward swing, leaving the largest window to attack. His third attack has him do a quick stab up if the player is too close, and this is the attack that makes using Miss Chalice significantly easier. With the brothers, the window here
If he gives the knight anything less than an A grade, I'm gonna be mad because the knight is really a really good mini boss.
But this leads to the biggest issue in the fight for me, especially when using
Licky!
to the knight, he does the quick stab up.
It's good enough to run. It's good enough to run. I'll take it. Please. Please. It's got step try attack. Please, game. Please. 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 Please.
The knight will taunt you.
Please. No, don't hit yourself. Please. 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 Please.
Follow up his taunt with a dash without the usual
Oh my gosh, please, 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 please. Yes! We're running the licky. I don't care. We're running it. Oh my gosh. I need a licky runner so bad. And this thing is freaking amazing. Oh my gosh. I think we just won the game. Okay, that's it. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. We can't hit ghost types. But, dude, if we could just get a move that can hit ghost types, dude, we literally just win.
With Miss Chalice being able to punish the short stab much more
We literally just win.
it means that the entire fight is over faster and with less frustration on your first couple attempts. Especially since Miss Chalice can do her first jump during the taunt, which lets her avoid the occasional quick dash across the screen using her double jump. It just gives the player a lot more time to react.
Oh, I really should like
Design-wise, though,
keep in
this
mind when
plays
I
off
get the
chess
item or
piece
not, because I
creatively.
could like
The
forget.
knight piece is, of course, traditionally a horse, so this is a horse dressed as a knight in the style of Horace Horsecollar, a classic Disney character who didn't quite survive the modern jump with Mickey's more well-known partners. Though I like the character design here, this isn't a fight I particularly enjoy watching or playing. His idle
Boo! You suck!
within the moveset, combined with the one phase
He's gonna give it like a B
means the
tier.
fight
Watch
always
this.
feels slow compared to the rest of
And I'm
the
gonna
game.
kill him.
I do love this huge arcing swing, but that's the rarest attack out of the bunch by a pretty wide margin. With Miss Chalice, this fight is serviceable, but there's so much potential for frustration within this fight that I think it earns.
That's why it's good. D tier! Dude, you're delusional! You're actually delusional!
And considering the challenge the DLC
The frick is wrong with you?
it's baffling that a mini-boss had more immediate posts and comments expressing frustration.
This guy's delusional. I do not agree with that ranking whatsoever.
But now, for the stars of the show, we're gonna start off the full boss roster of the DLC with the Moonshine Mob and Bootlegger Boogie. Rather than collecting soul contracts, the brothers and Miss Chalice travel aisle 4.
The Moonshine Mob is, alright, I guess. I'd give it like a C tier. I'm indifferent about the Moonshine Mob. It's alright. I don't particularly care for it. Alright, please give me a move that can hit ghost types, please. Game. Thunder? Yes. Yes. I will take that all the way to Sunday. That is a move that can hit ghost types. That's all I wanted. Don't care how bad it is. Because at least we can continue. Just hope we don't run into ghost. I don't think there's any ghost ground types. So I think we should be good on that front.
Charlie Left Legs, which is a great mobster name by the way, serves as the first phase here. His design is solid, and it turns out was a concept taken from a cut plain boss repurposed in this battle. Personally, I prefer this mobile spider gangster moving around the arena to the couple pieces of plain art that we do have, though that's also somewhat comparing apples to oranges with the finished art versus the concept art. The name of the game with this particular phase is Covering the Screen with Damage. As Charlie runs around the arena, he can stop randomly and has 2 attacks that will summon additional threats. The first drops bombs from the sky on long webs, and these bombs will stay there until they detonate. When the player moves past them, the bombs react and explode a moment later, forcing the player to keep mobile. There is a max limit of bombs that explodes the oldest, but he can cover enough of the screen that the player needs to be triggering the bombs if they want to keep the screen overall safe. On top of that, he can pull out a phone and make a call with some gorgeous cartoon gobbledygook, summoning a wave of fly gangsters that will move out of the background, then wait. Once the player is on the same floor as them, they'll start moving towards the player's location. They can be killed, or they'll fly directly off the stage. As a great detail, there's a number of different variations of these mobsters, which helps give the already packed screen even more character. Like back with Hildeberg, these threats are designed to focus on overlapping. The slow horizontal threats of the monsters,
Pursue? Honestly, yeah, I'll take it.
Bomb, and the constantly moving hitbox of Charlie's.
Honestly, I probably should have forgot locate. No, the coverage from locate is pretty good. I played through Cuphead again, not gonna lie. Every time I watch someone play Cuphead, it gives me such a strong urge. See, that's, hold on, I'm gonna pause the video. That's how you absolutely know that a video game design is peak. If watching someone play it makes you want to play it. That's how you know you've made a great, amazing game. That's how I feel about KAIZO, honestly. But I feel about that way about Cuphead too. Every time I watch someone play Cuphead, it just fills me with this urge to want to play Cuphead again. I could play through Cuphead 100 times a week and I would never get bored of that game. It's so much freaking fun. It's a lot of fun to master too. Absolutely peak game design. Absolutely peak.
All three of these attacks provide very little immediate threat, but with all of them lingering, they overlap to create one of the most hectic arenas yet. On top of that, this phase has ant cops running into the arena, but they aren't actually shooting at the player. They're aiming at Charlie. They can damage the player, and their slow projectiles will usually miss Charlie, but they can damage the boss too. On top of that, Charlie has friendly fire on. The exploding bombs damage both Charlie and all of his mobsters. With all
I didn't know that.
Attacks, the end result is the player chasing down Charlie as these lingering attacks start to stack up. Charlie is moving constantly and avoiding the attacks, but the player can set up bombs to damage him as part of the explosions. There's very few places that the player can go to be safe, which means they constantly need to be aware of where the attacks that are heading towards Charlie are as they're running away from the mobsters and setting off bombs constantly, while making sure to target down caterpillars.
We need tail glow so bad. If we get tail glow, we literally win.
After Charlie goes down, he reappears to drop Madcap Maddie and her gramophone into the center of the arena. Now before I go into this particular attack, this phase features one of my absolute favorite moments of Cuphead's musical direction. Bootlegger Boogie's music is written such that, about at the time Maddie's phase starts, the music introduces some jazz scat, which is a big piece of the musical identity this song utilizes to stick out. Not only does it mean that this song stands out from the rest of the base game's boss themes, but it gives Maddie a major presence as a phase of this boss fight, and helps push the atmosphere of the speakeasy that the fight takes place in. When you
Poison
combine that
powder?
with Charlie's phone calls making active sound, it makes the
Honestly, I
music
might forget
feel
Pursuit over that.
kinetic and immersive. With this exceptional audio,
Cause that's better Shedinja for Shedinja. Well, not better, but like I could see more scenarios where that's useful than Pursuit. I still think low kick's worth keeping.
Maddie's phase is pretty solid too. Another mechanic taken from the core
I don't know.
boss, assumed to have been from the
What do you think, Dylan? Should I forget Pursuit or low kick for Poison Powder? Or should I not learn Poison Powder at all? Pursuit's just so weak. I mean, but it always hits unlike Poison Powder. And I can't. Pursuit is guaranteed damage, but Thunder and Poison Powder together are not. Low kick has potential to be really good, especially for like against steel types and rock types. I struggle against those. I think I forget Pursuit here.
The other set activates, forcing the player to move in the other direction. On top
I don't know, man. I don't know.
Though they die quickly enough and move slowly enough that they frankly aren't much of an issue. This kind of boss design.
I wouldn't learn Poison Powder. All right, I'll skip it on it.
The brothers can still.
There's like I saw a few scenarios where Poison Powder would be useful for, but most of the time I wouldn't go for it. So that's probably a good call.
Boss design like this makes her inclusion within the DLC carry more value than if she was just an alternate or easy mode skin. Once Maddie's health is reduced, she falls backwards, which can deal damage and has killed me before she jumps back onto the gramophone while the biggest member of the gang, Sydney the Snout, reveals Harold under his hat and destroys the two bridges.
Of course you have Aftermath.
Into a floor with platforms along the edge. This is personally the only phase that I'm not a huge
I only went for
fan
low
of.
kick because it was
Sydney starts
quad
to
super
stick his
effective,
nose out
but
one side of the arena as I fake out a random number of times.
the thing is, this Licky's attack stat isn't low enough for me to consider physical moves useless. But it's like obviously a special attacker.
Before Sydney spits it back out. The tongue can be parried or initially ducked under, but since it pulls back a ball of bugs immediately after, that means ducking isn't a real way to dodge. It just delays the damage for a moment. When you combine that with the fact that the tongue doesn't take damage, it makes this phase very weapon dependent.
I'm gonna mark you up as special defense because I know you're a rock type, but you're only level 6. Like,
the chaser or crack shot has a really hard time aiming at Sydney's snout here. The lobber can work great if the player is successfully parrying on the nose, and Converge can get around the tongue's ability to destroy projectiles without taking damage, but the tongue forming a wall has always felt like some unnecessary frustration within this phase. With that being said, one of my favorite details here is that any damage done to Herald when he's revealed does damage to this phase's health bar, making it a much less static transition and removing the dead time that a long phase transition like pepeD could suffer from. On top of that, the balls that Sydney spits back out, in addition to bouncing around the arena, are actually fights as the cops and gangsters beat each other up in dust clouds. It's a great little detail, and as you wrap up the third phase...
oh, I never noticed that. I always thought they were just like bugs, like in a giant thing of like bubblegum or something.
Because Herald is still up, and he's the one who just announced that knockout. The death screen has been lying to you this entire boss fight. There are actually 4 phases, and Herald begins to yell at you with small projectiles while boasting a small hurt box on top of the Anteater's head. Not only is this a hilarious fake out, but I love the defeated boss sticking around as you keep fighting the next one. Herald's phase is also simple enough that it's mostly a matter of being ready and having a weapon that's able to target him through his barrage of attacks. Once he dies, the announcer returns, clears his throat, and announces the real knockout. A comment on the original Cuphead video that I really enjoyed brought attention to a specific boss archetype that Cuphead likes to use. The boss begins at its most chaotic and RNG heavy, and then streamlines throughout the fight until the last phase is the most simple, requiring only 1 or 2 moves at the most to be understood and executed in order to get over that finish line. Bosses like Kala Maria, Dr. Call, and the Devil use this pretty effectively, with all
Captain Brinybeard?
like Bonbon and Jimmy being front-loaded as
Captain Brinybeard, I think, is a good example of that too. But whatever.
Backloaded their most complicated parts, meant that this is less of a
Ooh, energy powder, nice. We're actually got some getting some good heals, and I normally don't get good heals. This run is blessed.
Really goes all into this concept, with 4 of the 6 main bosses starting with their most chaotic phases immediately out of the gate, and then simplifying to something like this as the fight progresses. It lets the first phase's chaos provide the wow factor, while the gimmicks and jokes of the later phases hide the comparable simplicity. And in Herald's case, the thing hiding his simplicity is the fact that if you beat Sydney with 1 hit point for the first time, you probably died to him immediately after. I adore the Moonshine mob here. The evolution from phase to phase is satisfying from a gameplay standpoint, the music is perfect, Herald replacing the announcer is so much fun, and the friendly fire within the first phase is really unique among the rest of the game. The only point that it starts to stumble for me is with Sydney's strange hurt boxes, but even with that, I think the Moonshine mob still clings on to the S grade. When you think of the
S-ring, really?
ideas from the base game and evolving them, the Moonshine mob is pictured right there as an amazing example of the kind of thing you want to expect. In terms of a death quote,
We're getting Dragon Pulse, guys.
Surprise.
That's a good move.
Especially when a player squeezes
I forget Pursue. Yo, Austin, welcome in, dude. Yo, you got here at a good time, bro. We got this Licky Licky, and I really hope it can freaking run because I love Licky Licky so much. I absolutely adore Licky Licky.
The second of the 2 bosses the player can start their DLC adventure with is collecting the
I'm gonna get the Steelix for HM purposes.
In the same way Wally Warbles was the unexpected wall in my expert mode playthrough of the base game, Glumstone went from being a chaotic but manageable introduction to the Isle on regular to the boss that served as the absolute wall in expert mode. I got my first ever clear.
Alright guys, wish me luck. I really want this Licky Licky to run.
Except for Glumstone, who took more than
Let's see what berries we have. We have Cherry, Rost. Let's do Rost because that I don't want to actively lose HP if I can help it.
Woken up from the gnome's mining efforts to start the exaggerated features and mountains.
I'm so nervous because I really want to run this thing so bad.
Yet charming look, and the mountains in the background, each having their own faces, helps with making Cuphead's illogical and cartoon world still feel deep.
No, stop missing! No, stop missing! No! What the frick?
On top of that,
dude,
on the mountain here is actually Glumstone's beard with no
come on.
within it. Glumstone's
Give me a chance here.
overlapping attacks from
Really? Really? He lives on 1 HP and lands Magma Storm. Dude, this game sucks, man. What is this luck?
Later as damaging spikes, forcing the player back up onto the 5 platforms.
We gotta heal, get Smooch him.
On top of that, gnomes will occasionally burrow up from the beard, becoming active hazards.
Dark Pulse is fine. Let's go tri-attack.
In varying directions, adding even
Raise
more
Rosary,
chaos
tri-attack.
going on, and making it more difficult to escape onto the ground if you need to.
I don't want to risk
Finally,
Dragon Pulse not
gnomes
killing. We're
will
going for
climb
tri-attack again.
platforms with giant
Okay,
hammers,
Dragon Pulse will definitely kill
pressing
from
the
there.
left and right sides, forcing the player to move around
Sir Mime Jr., we go tri-attack. Oracle, tri-attack. Ice Sphinx fine. Tri-attack again. Whalmer. Thunder. Okay, level up here. Progunk, he's got one more Pokemon. Tri-attack. No! Mirror Coat!
Rising up or down, and platforms randomly disappear at certain health gates within this phase. Simple loses only one platform, regular loses 2, and expert loses 3 whole platforms.
Dude.
Expert, the player has
The frick, man. That was my strongest move, too. So there's no way I could have done anything about that. There's literally no way I could have done anything. I used my strongest move and it didn't one-shot. So the only way I could have won that is if he didn't go for Miracle or if I got a crit. Or went for low kick. But why in the world would I go for low kick when my special attack's way higher and it resists fighting? Like, why? How? There's no way I could have known that had Miracle, dude. Seriously?
Some of the gas clouds are parryable, but even with the moving platforms, this is the least RNG dependent of Glumstone's attacks. Less platforms, of course, will always make it harder to find a good place to land, but this attack never traps the player into damage in any way that ever feels unfair. His geese attack, meanwhile, is my least favorite of the bunch, as it either poses absolutely zero risk, or leads to the worst situations possible for a player. Glumstone raises up a geese crossing sign and the entire top half of the screen is covered in damage. Even if there are multiple platforms, you can
Spencer's throwing for some reason. Okay, never mind. I guess he was just setting up growth until he could one-shot me.
It's pretty easy to expect yourself to be safe, dodging off.
If I didn't miss the first turn of Toxic, I actually think I would have won.
The platform you've dodged on is already moving upwards and you're taking damage again. Especially once there's only 2 platforms left, the player is effectively forced to jump onto the spike gnomes here. But the player's jump from the ground can hit the geese, meaning the player is tightly packed between 2 walls of damage, with there still being additional threats that they need to dodge spawning throughout. I found this could pretty easily slip into the more frustrating RNG territory. For his final attack, Glumstone grabs a bear
What is
from
his moveset, dude?
is his back pocket and drags it towards him across the screen. On regular, this stops at the 3rd platform, but it presses down to the 4th platform on expert. If the platform
I can't help but think I would have won
this
that
attack
if I didn't miss Dynamic Punch.
But if that platform was randomly cold, you either have to smoke dash through the bear or position yourself incredibly tightly against Glumstone's body, jump before those gnome spikes.
If I had Tail Glow, I would have won that gym fight. Dude, imagine if that Licky Licky had Tail Glow, dude. Imagine.
If Glumstone wasn't an active hitbox himself here, it might be a bit easier as you could dash into him in order to delay your fall a little bit, but since he is, this attack can pretty easily feel like threading a needle. On regular, it's rare that you'll ever run into a problem. After all, out of the 10 arrangements of platforms dropping, only one of them removes both the pillars you can stand on, which is a 10% chance. On expert chance though, from the 10 arrangements of pillars, only 4 of them leave the pillar on the far right stand.
If Ice Ground wasn't such an awful typing, I'd actually run this.
Which means the attack is frustrating more often than it's not. This intensity increase from the pillars disappearing leads to what feels like an overly restricted arena on expert difficulty. The increased size of the geese swarm and the bear coming further along also restrict that already restricted space even more, and the chance of an attack feeling unfair ends up skyrocketing compared to the regular difficulty.
Yeah, Gumstone Drop or whatever the frick this thing is called is feels very luck based. At least in the first phase. They start setting up a pair of spectator stands where they'll begin to which of course it's not really. I especially like the binoculars. That's what I like about Cuphead is it's mostly skill, very little luck is involved. But some luck is still involved. That way it's still like so keeps it entertaining, I guess. But if you're the thing is the skill to luck ratio in this game is really good because if you're skilled enough, then luck won't be enough to kill you, you know?
These 2 titans that once had their own world are now nothing but toys to one of the first challenges Inkwell Isle 4 wants to put the player against. This phase is much more straightforward than the first, building towards that same funnel design principle I referenced in the Moonshine Mob. The Devil and King dice have a balloon that they toss back and forth. Glumstone moves them up and down, and the balloon will hit the ground once.
Oh my gosh! I literally never realized that the puppets are the Devil and or King Dice. Wow, that's insane. How did I never notice that?
Another threat here. Gnomes climb up the rock face and through the beard, pressing up in a huge leaping arc in the direction of the player. You can watch in advance to see which ones will be parryable as they climb up the mountainside, but the visual cue here is so quick and minor that players won't practically know until the gnomes are airborne. The only problem I have with this phase is that the stands, as adorable as they are, can pretty easily block visibility.
I'm not that slow, seriously.
It makes it easy for a player to get blindsided by a gnome appearing from underneath them when they have to run towards one of those edges. It is much less infrequent than the RNG in phase 1, but it appears...
We might have to try to run this thing until we can get to the fishing pivots, because, man, these encounters are...
On the other hand, if the player stands...
Oh no, that's not true. I can go for Rapidash.
The puppet cannot hit them, meaning the gnomes are provided in order to discourage that and force the player towards the center of the arena.
Rewarding game I've beaten. Oh, for sure.
Without the player seeing the attack in order to discourage standing there,
dude, come on. Rapidash, you're only level 5, bro.
Glumstone grabs the piece of mountain that the player was standing on
Thank
and
you.
smashes it in his hands, catching the player in his mouth and swallowing them whole. The classic little animation trend.
Wow, no
The
speed,
player lands
dude.
in Glumstone's stomach
Dragon
and
Rage,
against
though.
Glumstone's final phase.
Can at least probably get past the trainers.
It's about as disgusting as it sounds. The ulcer moves back and forth along the top.
I'm so lucky that he didn't go for Dragon Rage all those times it took me to catch him.
Skulls above the acid in Glumstone's stomach. As the ulcer moves around, it spits chicken legs towards the skulls, destroying the platforms and limiting the player's movement more and more. After destroying a couple of them, the ulcer will spit out a bone that opens a skull into a parryable ringing bell. Once the player parries that bell, the skulls return to their starting position, starting the cycle again. On Expert, the player often ends up with only one safe platform left by the time the parryable platform is created. And though I've seen the game require a tight jump to another skull 3 apart, there does seem to be a code of protection against it.
Looks this thing so slow, because moveset's actually pretty decent.
Which makes this my favorite of his phases to face. On top of that, one gnome has followed the player into the stomach here, popping out of the acid with a scuba.
Fighting CupheadFast took me like 4 hours. That fight, it's one of those fights where it's like, it's the level curve is really weird for it, cause it's really hard when you until you first beat it, but after you first beat it, it's actually like one of the easier bosses. You just got, as soon as you get the pattern down, it's really not that bad. Am I locked in with Magus? Okay, of course. I have to catch this Togepi in order to get away.
Especially as expert difficulty makes the chance of bad luck even more intense, the fight is still exceptionally charming. I think the RNG level on regular is great. When there's 3 platforms left, it's pretty rare to run into a really bad RNG setup. On top of that, the framework of the fight manages to introduce something that the Moonshine mob doesn't really focus on: scale. Glumstone feels intentionally momentous in a way that the Moonshine mob didn't try to be. There is so much happening on screen in the first phase, he takes up a ton of space in every phase, the devil and dice puppets give that reference, and the transition into his stomach make this fight feel like a step above the base game in terms of concept. With the Moonshine pushing gameplay and
Alright, let's go see what
concepts and scale, they combine
the encounters are, fishing encounters.
Incredible introduction to the DLC's roster of fights. Even with that, I think Glumstone only earns a high B grade. He's somewhat of a reverse Ribby and Croaks situation, where Ribby and Croaks had to open space that Expert helped close. Glumstone is the first boss in the game that it felt went a little too far with Expert. It is possible more playthroughs will eventually break that belief.
Friend's not a great typing.
On Expert, but
if I don't find a good fishing encounter, I'll probably just reset, because this thing's not that good. It's not good, actually. That speed is just way too low.
You thought you were bold, but I am bolder. After defeating a few of the bosses on Inkwell Isle 4, the next 2 bosses in the King's Gauntlet open up. The first of which is the Bishop, and though the challenge presented here is more engaging than with the pawns, it avoids falling into the same traps that the Knight did in its fight. The Bishop immediately has a really fun character design, and even as a mini-boss, this stage feels built around him specifically as his body dances in the background while the tri-faced severed head flies around the arena. Both the pawns and the Knight felt more like mobs placed in a thematic room compared to this arena, and it immediately makes the Bishop become a much more satisfying opponent to face, even if the fight itself has...
The boss is satisfying to face because of the background? What is this guy on about, dude?
He takes 9 parries.
That doesn't even make any sense.
Traps of the pawn and knight by putting the ability to attack entirely into the player's control again. The Bishop's head flies around the arena in one of 2 predetermined patterns. One is long horizontal lines.
Like literally tell me how that makes any logical sense. The background is good, therefore the boss is more engaging. Oh, wow. 10 out of 10 game, guys, just because of the background. Let's go. That's the stupidest thing I've ever heard.
Straight line towards the player's current location. Despite the fact that this fight is a loop of putting out lights and
I mean, it helps, but it doesn't make or break a fight. Like, seriously?
Before reappearing and starting a new pattern, leading to a really satisfying rhythm and variation in the type of threat that the bishop will output. On top of that, the head's general movement speed increases, more candles get lit with every hit, and the head summons bells more and more frequently. It leads to a feeling of the speed of the fight increasing to what feels like the absolute limit before the player lands that final hit. It's something a lot of other Cuphead fights haven't really tried to implement, and it's a boss trope that I've always enjoyed in simpler boss fights in other games. Increasing the speed in a single phase helps to give the fight a feeling of escalating tension.
Anywhere to the background and focusing on the fight, yeah.
On top of that,
exactly. I don't.
Is super charming here.
The background's always secondary to like anything.
The bishop in general,
Like, I would maybe get it if the background like had something to like if it affected the fight greatly. Like, look at Maria, for example, in her final phase where you have to dodge the like the cave like rocks or whatever. There I could understand the background analysis, but the literally all the background does is give you a table to stand on. That's literally it. Literally almost every single background has more to do than that one. Like, seriously?
He's got enough depth to be satisfying in a rematch, while not having the potential dead time or frustration that the knight could. And increasing the tempo.
Yeah, bro literally ranked the knight low just because, it's frustrating, it's hard. Therefore, this boss sucks. That's literally his logic. Shut up, dude. It's supposed to be hard. It's Cuphead, dude. It's supposed to be difficult. The level curve is supposed to go like this. It's supposed to be really hard at the beginning, and then it gets easier. That's how it works. It doesn't work like this, where it gets hard. Like, that doesn't make any sense. Like, what in the world? It's supposed to be difficult.
If a pink head hits the rook, he takes damage. All the heads also get a diabolical grin as soon as the player parries them.
Speed boost skunting with stab cross poison? Yes, please.
Characterizing what would otherwise be a pretty grim projectile. Uniquely, the rook is the only boss in the game that takes more damage depending on where he's being hit. He has enough health to take 16 hits.
Oh man, my attack sucks. It's kind of annoying.
Though this is the most complicated of the damage methods.
Oh man, I don't know if I want to run it though. I don't know.
It is
What do you think?
satisfying to master tossing these skulls back towards the rook.
Defense is really bad. I don't know. I don't know. I don't
On
know.
top of that, it focuses
Maybe if I can get like,
encouraging utilizing this chalice, as the
I don't know.
horizontal dash makes it much easier.
I'll try to get past the trainers, then I'll see what the fishing counters are. But like,
Unlike the knight, who tried to encourage Miss Chalice by making it harder to fight with the brothers, the windows to punish aren't tighter for the brothers against the rook.
oh wow, I just got one shot. All right, attempt 1900, guys.
Juggling the pink heads for a moment to position them so that Cuphead or Mugman can be better set to toss the projectile towards the rook is really satisfying, and is also a little bit easier in order to land headshots with than Miss Chalice's, giving it a really satisfying skill ceiling that none of the other mini-bosses here reach. On top of that, the unique damage mechanic makes the rook stand out on a gameplay standpoint from the main roster. Unlike the pawns, this feels like a mini-boss that is adding to the DLC. If the pawns were gone, no one would really care, but people would be a little sad to see the rook go. When you combine all of that unique gameplay with that headshot mechanic,
How would they be sad to see the rook go if it never existed? What in the world?
A really solid niche as a boss fight. On top of all that, the rook also joins alongside the bishop.
1900 gone just like that.
Course of his boss fight. Not only do the number of projectiles he sends out increase over time, both making everything more dangerous and shortening the time players will need to wait before an opportunity to counterattack, but the sharpening axe begins shooting sparks that travel along the ground. Since the player is regularly airborne and parrying attacks back towards the rook, this effectively makes landing more threatening. And as the fight continues, this space shrinks more and more as the sparks shoot faster and faster along the ground. If you couldn't tell, the rook is my favorite member of the King's Court. The method to attack it feels like it can be genuinely mastered, and it utilizes that same escalation and tension throughout the fight to give the fight a really exciting tempo. Personally, I'm gonna give the rook a B grade. I still prefer
I got an Omni Boost there. I would've won.
fights over it, but the Rook is the only
Probably.
mini bosses that compares with bosses that I'd otherwise
It's his
consider
favorite, but he still gives it a B rank. All right,
One
yeah, the knight
reason
didn't have a
for the
chance.
dominant of bosses, however, is that the music is all incredibly similar. The song that plays in every boss fight only adjusts slightly via instrumentation as you move through the mini bosses, and by the time you've reached the Rook, it's very much started to overstay its welcome. Especially since everything else in the game has such unique music, it feels weird to unlock these new fights with no real new aesthetic, music, or joke, even if the art direction continues to improve throughout the gauntlet. The DLC presents the player with
That's
a
an insane
single
move
play
right
level
there.
to earn the Desert Limes, Esther Winchester in a High Noon Hoopla. And though the DLC has a ton of great boss fights, Esther Winchester stands above the rest for me. Personally, this is my favorite boss fight in all of Cuphead. I adore every single piece of design that goes into this fight, and there is a
Gee, I wonder where he's gonna rank it.
thought-out details. Esther Winchester is a cowgirl outlaw, and the player starts chasing her down in her saloon, which also has her own wanted poster plastered on the side. Esther pops between the top and bottom window of the saloon as she does one of two attacks. Either lassoing a cat.
This fight's alright. I mean, I like it. The level curve is pretty nice.
The cactus works best as an attack.
The expert is expert of this boss is really difficult. One of the harder expert fights.
Still plenty of attacks to dodge, and the attack is over before too long. The snake oil, meanwhile, is one of my favorite projectiles in the game in terms of how it busies the screen. The oil shoots forward.
His speed got lowered and he still has speed. Wow.
About halfway across the screen before it explodes on the back of the arena into oil snakes that move much faster in a straight vertical line directly across the screen. The mix of threats provided here is really fun. The way that the snake oil curves up takes up enough of the screen that it's threatening without being overwhelming, considering it overlaps with a number of other attacks, and the follow-up of the straight snakes provides a satisfying lingering.
The first phase is very chaotic. Like, it's like fighting Dr. Robotnik or whatever the frick his name is. That the first phase in that fight is really chaotic too. Sandstream's fine for a steel type because I'm not affected by it.
If the player stops attacking Esther, these horses can be pretty easily targeted down, but the complication they add is, again, just enough to add chaos without being unfair. Finally, a vulture bandit, introduced flying into the background during the fight's introduction, will loop back around and drop a stick of dynamite that explodes into two waves of offset dynamite that moves back up through the arena. All of these attacks overlap to make a chaotic phase that walks the line of fairness perfectly. Something is always attacking the player, but everything is very clearly telegraphed with plenty of time and no way to trap the player in any particular place. Mastering this phase is just a matter of not backing yourself into a particular corner and being constantly on the move to prepare for whatever attack is coming next. On top of walking that line, Esther has so much personality. She has this chaotic and contagious energy, even
Esther looks like the cow from those cream cheese commercials.
Supplemented through the music and unique country-esque environment. High Noon Hoopla features a fiddle in its music.
Oh my gosh, holy freaking glass cannon that has no special moves.
Christopher Madigan, you absolute madman, you did it again.
Dude, if this thing's special attack and attack were swapped, this thing would be a beast.
I love you so much. The second phase takes Esther's characterization even further as she tears off the top of her house.
I mean, I could try to run it. I just got Fire Blast.
And pulls out a giant vacuum that consumes.
And we got Stab Vein Attack.
And starts pulling treasure towards her in somewhat of a reverse of Jimmy's treasure attack. After doing that for a while, she'll shoot winged saves out of the vacuum. They'll fall straight down.
I like running glass cannon, so
treasure that heads straight towards the player's immediate location.
I'll try to run it, but it's
loops these two attacks,
iffy.
Overlapping slightly near the end of the previous move in a way that keeps the entire phase feeling alive and moving rather than ever returning to a fully neutral state. And again, the details here are what really sells me on this phase. The mouth forming on the vacuum as she transforms or spits out safes, and the vacuum breaking her usual circular frame as it consumes the death screen are really great. On top of that, this phase builds on a great piece of art design that exists universally throughout the fight. Instead of 1, 2, or 3 layers in the background moving at about the same speed, there are 5 unique background layers moving at notably different speeds. When you combine that with the movement in the wheels on the saloon or the constant skipping or rolling in her stirrups on this phase, the player feels like they are moving at an incredibly high speed. And that effect only intensifies as Esther's vacuum catches her foot, pulling her inside as it turns into a steam cooker. It explodes a few moments later, then reveals that Esther has been turned into a collection of sentient sausage links. This is one of my absolute favorite absurd transformations. She's still wearing all the same clothes here, but now they're ratted and
Even funnier, sausage is made from pig, not cow.
her big hat, which now sits on her back. On top of that, the moment that the cooker explodes, Esther beholds herself in a mirror before she just decides to continue the boss fight, which is just so charming. But the multi-layered background speed is used to an absolute maximum effect here. Throughout this phase, the player has to weave between cans of beans that unfurl in a random direction to cut down the player's mobility, but it's all part of an amazing visual trick. The player isn't in an auto-scroller in this level. These are not stationary obstacles, they're moving towards you, and they are moving fast. But when you combine the speed suggested by the background and the fact that Esther looks like she's still running away from you throughout this phase, it creates the illusion of the player rocketing after Esther and weaving between these cans.
Yo, Lexi, what's going on? Welcome in. Just making rounds before bed, no problem. I appreciate it.
The most memorable chases in a boss rush game I've played in a while. The base game did utilize.
We got a licky. We almost got a licky runner, but we lost to the last Pokemon in the gym battle on the gym trainer to Miracle, and I'm so upset about that because it was so good. It had Tri-Attack, Dragon Pulse, and Thunder, and we freaking lost to Miracle, dude. I was so sad.
Personally, I don't think there is another fight that uses its animation to such an active and extraordinary effect in Cuphead, which is why Esther gets my vote as the single best animated fight in the game. The hot dog cans mechanically combined with Esther in this phase to great effect as well. Like in the first phase, Esther swaps between either running on the bottom of the screen or flapping her sausage arms with enough momentum to fly at the top of the screen. My favorite part about this design is that it really encourages utilizing both of the plane's weapon varieties as Esther is repositioning without feeling like Esther is dodging your attacks in the same way that Hilda or
Heal order is illegal.
their constant vertical movement.
Oh, I'm probably screwed. If I don't get a good move at level 17, I'm probably screwed.
Steak cut that spirals towards the player in a unique way and can be occasionally parried. Like the first phase, the third phase here rides the line of keeping the player feeling like there's always something happening through its speed without ever feeling overwhelming by filling the screen in the same way that Dr. Calls sought to. After the third phase and
Give me a Sludge Bomb or Dark Pulse, please. Preferably Sludge Bomb because I already have a Stab Dark type move.
Speed continue here, albeit with a slightly more bizarre attack. Two strands of sausages burst out of the can, each moving up and down and overlapping in the middle. Each strand will occasionally miss a sausage, meaning the player has to weave up and down as they move through these small gaps amongst the two walls of damage. On top of that, the ghost of Esther spits out peppers from her permanent place on the can, which forms a wave of projectiles that pushes out, one of which is often parried. Like Hildeberg, this phase succeeds through mixing horizontal and vertical dodging in a way that creates an almost rubber band effect with the boss. The player is horizontally shifting forward and backwards.
HP up. I'm not using that.
Links, but also needs to push forward through the peppers so that they don't need to worry about it as they're moving vertically. The end result is that the player pushes right up next to Esther, then pulls far away.
What sucks is I'm at full health, but I need to go back and heal because Fireblast only has 5 power points.
Especially when she dies, and those sausages start to rise up out of the can as little angels playing banjos. Like with the Moonshine Mob in Glumstone, this is the same principle of design. The fight begins at its most chaotic, but by the last phase is built around a single, repeating attack that the player is forced to press against in order to reach that finish line. I don't think it's very much of a surprise at this point that I think Esther is an S-grade boss. A cowgirl being turned into sausages as the player takes her down is a great premise, and her characterization throughout the fight is some of the game's strongest. The music and art is Cuphead at its best, and every phase lands right in that perfect niche where it's chaotic and challenging.
Alright, berry time. Berry fight, boo doo doo doo.
Are also extraordinary, with each bringing
berry fight, boo doo doo doo.
Great way. But I have to go with the third phase, and it's triple pun. Let's be franks here, I'm your worst nightmare. Frank's and
S ranking?
obvious puns.
That's what he gave it. I'd give it an A ranking. I don't think it's like the best fight or anything like that, but I enjoy it. Like, I think it's a good fight. It's just the expert is really difficult, but I kind of like that because of the it's satisfying to like get better at it.
Though all 6 of the DLC bosses are designed to be slightly easier to handle using Miss Chalice, Mortimer is the only boss where playing as the brothers feels like you're making the actively wrong choice. And
Dragon Dance. Seriously, game? Come on. You give me Dragon Dance and you give it to a special attacker? Thanks, that's so nice. How thoughtful. You finally give me a move I've been wanting for like the longest time ever. And now that I finally get it, you give it to a Pokemon that's a special attacker. Yay!
It's neat little animation, but the
You suck, game.
never actually comes up again, which is somewhat disappointing. Mortimer spends the entire phase flying around.
Dude, KAIZO is literally just like one giant troll. Like, legitimately.
Another boss on top of him, which has always made the stretchy limbs feel like a cut design concept that stuck around in the introduction. On a more positive design note, there is a great thematic connection that lasts throughout the entire fight with the sun, moon, and buckets that seem to be the basis for his cult. On top of his cultists wearing buckets on their heads, there are huge banners depicting buckets surrounding the arena. Mortimer's second phase keeps a bucket on his head, and there's an attack in the third phase where Mortimer summons buckets as projectiles. There are also depictions of the sun and moon in the background of the arena, and the moons appear again in phase 3 as explosive projectiles, while the 8-pointed sun mirrors the 8-pointed snowflake that Mortimer uses as his vessel for his last phase. Mortimer's 3 tarot card variations also tie into this theming. He uses the sun, the moon, and the 3 of swords. The sun and the moon are more obvious.
I might legit have to set up Dragon Dances in order to take on the gym leader. I'm not gonna get to level 23 before the gym leader. And Fire Blast only has 5 power points, so it's like,
considering the final boss of the DLC,
I mean, if just like all my Fire Blasts on the trainers before the rival.
It ends up being a surprisingly topical choice of card for what the DLC is building towards.
Or not for the rival, for the gym leader.
Focuses on summons and projectiles while he flies around the top half of the screen. My first problem is how easy it is to bump into Mortimer here. Whenever the player fully jumps into the air, Mortimer will fly low enough that it's easy to get clipped by him, which gets frustrating when attacks start encouraging players to jump over them. Most frustrating are those aforementioned tarot cards, which are one of the only ways to get parries if he decides that they're parryable. This is an absolutely miserable boss to S-rank, by the way. If you're playing as the brothers, jumping up...
Yeah, the expert on this boss is very difficult as well.
And I hit him enough that I swapped to Miss Chalice just to beat him on expert rather than just to try to get an S grade. Her dash...
Dude, why do they keep freaking playing me with these 2-turn moves?
Significantly less while still getting in those parries. Plus,
Yo, what's going on, Ken? Set up with the glass cannon. Yeah, that doesn't have like any special moves, so it's great. I don't know why I went to PC.
Both punishes a player for being airborne and also encourages them
Fixing that special type though, nice.
divide their focus. He opens his cape to immediately spawn 4 little ice figures.
Give me a PP max, I need it.
Have active hitboxes. The figures are shot diagonally downward towards the player where they embed into the ground, breaking free and wandering towards the player.
Citrus berry.
Depending
I'll use
on
that for the gym fight.
These figures, like the jelly beans and bonbon, can be really hard to hit. And with 4 of them moving towards the player that need to be jumped over or destroyed, it ends up being a deceptively threatening minion attack. Finally, and somewhat uncharacteristically, Mortimer pulls a whale out from under his hat and smashes it down, covering around half the arena. As much as I feel like I'm missing the joke here, this whale does combine with the minions, especially in a great way, and by forcing horizontal movement rather than vertical movement, it leaves to fewer moments where the player clips into Mortimer trying to dodge it. If Mortimer was a little smaller or had less attacks that lowered his hitbox in the player's jump height, I think I'd like this phase better than I do. On top of that, the background art of his cult does look great, but it's on a very short loop and doesn't have any...
I would say that... Oh wait, I got a leopard berry?
Staying powers the other backgrounds.
Oh wow, I didn't even realize that. Yeah, that's nice.
Provided another level of entertainment as you started noticing these details as they're moving around, and the number of unique poses in the stance for Glumstone kept the large group looking engaging at a glance, whereas the snow figures all feel completely identical to each other, even with the slight differences in their expressions. The second phase is Mortimer's coolest, and especially on Miss Chalice, is one of the most satisfying attack barrages to dodge. Mortimer rings a bell, surrounding himself with snow, and forming a huge snow monster adorned with a bucket. The best thing about this particular
calcium, sure.
The attacks from the giant are both non-stop and will constantly
calcium and limestone.
After effects of the attacks that came before. The main move is either rolling flat along the ground, forcing the player to jump over him, or leaping in an arc, forcing the player to stay on the ground.
All right, gym time.
Combines that with other lingering moves to require a lot of quick positioning and thinking, which lets Miss Chalice's double jump do a ton of cool work. A short jump lets the player fall back under the snowman faster, while the double jump lets Miss Chalice dodge an attack and delay falling long enough to dodge.
I wish we can't get burned. That's something.
That, the snowman smashes his fists
I didn't even realize we are building. A sublet. I'll probably need it. I'll start with citrus and then we'll go on to lepa if I use it. If I, if I use citrus berry, which I probably will.
As it feels like it punishes the player for choosing either of the brothers rather than Miss Chalice. Again, her double jump gives you enough time to delay your fall or to dodge other lingering attacks at the same time. You have to let it linger. I'm so sorry. Alright, we're just gonna set up Dragon Dance and try to sweep. That's the strat. One more time into a total of 4 smaller ice cubes. But it gets really interesting as Mortimer releases 2 or 3 at slightly
Power
different times
Whip.
in order to generate easy to
I hate
hit,
this game.
but interesting combined patterns. On top of that, popsicles will fly out of the top of the freezer, and they'll start flying across the screen after a short delay, overlapping pretty heavily into the next attacks. Everything from the freezer here persists into what comes next, making
okay.
this phase feel non-stop.
I didn't get a good special move. I would have healed there if I got a good special move at level 23, but I didn't, so I didn't care that much. And the odds of the gym leader give me something good was low, and me being able to learn it even lower.
Mortimer stops on one side of the arena while platforms appear, prompting the player to climb up while the snowman explodes upwards. If the player doesn't climb, the bottom half of that body crosses the screen, forcing the player to jump up or take damage. Once the player has finally climbed,
yeah, I'm telling you, Kaizo is just like one giant troll.
Well, that aforementioned 8-pointed snowflake attacks. The snowflake rests on one of the 2 sides of the arena.
I used eruption after that. I did like no damage now. Just
ways that they can
set.
It keeps up the phase's mobility and
Love-hate relationship. It's addicting. That's the problem.
There are 3 attacks here.
Because once you do get a good Pokemon, it's like super fun, but then you lose it and then you're back to square one. And this just makes you want to get another good Mon. And you just play until you lose your mind.
This is another attack that really encourages utilizing Miss Chalice, as using the dash to parry the pink bucket is much more realistic.
I wouldn't have even run it if I didn't learn Fire Blast.
Next, he turns his mouth into an ice cream stand as it
It's got no defense at all.
Leaving a series of ice creams that all move straight across the screen to form an incredibly tight web of attacks, especially since the player can't find a safe space and stay there with the movement of the platform.
Well, he beat the rival.
Finally, he turns his bottom half into a crank, squeezing himself into
Or got 1 defense stat from 3 levels. That's insane.
Arena, both doing damage and releasing electric waves that create vertical walls the player has to make sure to not be on.
So, knock some sense into me. I don't run this thing, right? It's got a quad weakness to ice. Its defense sucks. Its moveset's alright.
This phase is brutal and it's easy.
Not anything like to write home about.
I've always enjoyed weaving around all of these attacks, especially as Miss Chalice. Once he drops, Mortimer finally returns with a
What's Marvel skill? If I have a status effect, my defense is doubled. But my defense is so bad that it literally wouldn't even make much of a difference.
Really good against the background, especially. I think Mortimer does earn the A grade. My biggest problem is how frustrating his
still mid, yeah.
when you're playing as the brothers, but that same minus
I mean, because being status is not a desirable state, so it's like, sure, it's kind of helpful, but I'd rather not be status than take the buff from Marvel's Hail, so.
In terms of death quotes, I think it has to go to that 3rd phase, which references the Aurora Borealis in the background with
plus defense nature. Yeah, I know. Plus, that's how you know its defense really sucks. If it's got a plus defense nature and it's still this low, like, what in the world, man? If this thing's defense and special attack were swapped, I'd use it, but it's not, so we're gonna pivot.
The queen is a huge enemy in the background, and there is so much detail in this fight. She starts the fight counting her Scrooge McDuck pile of gold before flipping the table and attacking.
I wish Persian was better, I really do. They need to give Persian a freaking evolution, not Meowth. Seriously? Persian's a great Pokemon. It's just, well, it's like great, like design-wise, in my opinion, but it's just, it's not good.
In the foreground are 3 cannons, one of which will have a lit fuse as it picks
Doesn't help that it's
player parries the fuse, it fires into the background. The player's job
signature move is also garbage.
With Miss Chalice's parry hitting ground,
it's unique. I'm a fan of Alolan Persian. I don't count that as evolution, and no, not really. I prefer regular Persian over Alolan Persian. Because regular Persian looks like really nice and sleek, and Alolan Persian just kind of ruins that.
The player can parry them to destroy the tower, which again encourages utilizing Miss
Like,
Chalice.
tell me how it makes sense Rhydon gets evolution, but Persian doesn't. Persian's worse than Rhydon. Like, that doesn't even make any sense.
Is never frustrating in the same way that the knight could be. After you've landed your first hit, the queen pulls out 2 Faberge eggs, each of which have powdered wigs, and starts spitting out more eggs that fall as projectiles. The attack isn't unfamiliar to anyone who's gone through the base game, mirroring the Gumball.
Wow, I've encountered 7 Leafeon, not a single one of them has been level 6. 8 Leafeon, not a single one of them has been level 6.
The player's effort here isn't on learning to dodge the attacks, as they've already very clearly learned how to dodge those if they've made it here. It's a matter of learning how to time your cannon shots on the queen. The queen only takes.
This is the worst part about pivoting. When there's a decent Pokemon in the wild and you know you can get it, but your luck's so awful it takes you forever to get it. This is why I hate pivoting.
The mice all celebrate your victory.
You'll use so much time and then you'll catch it and then it's just like the most mid Pokemon ever. You're like, I just wasted all my time just for that. That's exactly what's gonna happen here. I'm guaranteeing it. This Leafeon's gonna be the most mid Leafeon of all time. But I have to try to catch it on the off chance it is good. Arbok's like that for me. I really like it, best mid. Yeah, Arbok too, honestly. If anything, Arbok's more deserving of an evolution. The only reason they didn't give Arbok an evolution is because they never give Weezing an evolution. But it's weird. Weezing has a 490 BST. Arbok has 438, but they're always paired to each other. But even though Weezing is more, like, way obviously better than Arbok. Like, why is Weezing so much better than Arbok? That doesn't make any sense. Like, either make Arbok stronger or Weezing weaker. Like, it doesn't make any sense to me.
Before she flies away in her air.
Oh my god, dude, how long is this level 6 Leafeon gonna take? What in the world? Seriously? I've encountered 15 Leafeon, and none of them have been level 6. It's like a 1 in 3 chance. It's literally a 1 in 3 chance of it being level 6 every single time. What is going on? Dude, my luck this stream is just absolutely garbage.
The aces never do anything to disturb the player's platform. That platform lands entirely under the player's control. It's also being piloted by Canteen Hughes, who provides
Run Torterra. I'm not, dude. I don't bother running a Pokemon that I know can't make it, because it's like, it's hard enough to get past Gardenia, let alone get a PB with good Pokemon. So it's just a waste of time in my eyes. I mean, to be fair, this is a waste of time, so whatever, but dude, how freaking long is it gonna take to find this Leafeon? I've seen 22 Wigglytuff. I don't want a Wigglytuff. I found more level 6 Wigglytuffs than Leafeon at this point.
In a vacuum, the cat is
20 dude, this is literally the longest I've ever gone trying to freaking find an encounter ever in Kaizo. Like, this is ridiculous. What is going on? Like, the odds of this going on this long are astronomically low.
Throughout the fight, members of the Yankee Yippers, a group of 4 small
It's like a 1 in 7 chance that I find a level 6 Leafeon, and I have not found it yet. Statistically, I should have found a level 6 Leafeon like 8 times by now, dude. Like, seriously? And then watch me not even catch it, dude.
Fire hydrants will slowly start to hone.
Frick this game, honestly.
Like many homing projectiles, they have a pretty small amount of health, forcing the player to balance their aggression with keeping the screen clear. The biggest success of this phase mimics the successes of the Phantom Express. The attacks here are defined by their simplicity, allowing the stage's gimmick to provide the primary challenge without ever reaching a point of frustration. With that said, this phase also features a lot more downtime than the Phantom Express often did, especially since there's nothing that's ever trying to mess with your ability to control your platform. It still works, yes, but not quite as well as the Express did. After the Brigadier has been beaten, his plane explodes and he flies into the background. I absolutely love the cartoon logic here, pulling him straight back instead of down and back. It is an incredibly funny image, and it even persists into the death of the Yippers in the second phase. Next, the 4 Yippers circle around the player as the player's ground level rises to the middle of the screen.
This is either the best bad Pokemon I've ever seen or the worst good Pokemon I've ever seen.
Overlapping where the player is trapped in the center of the circle. Some letters are parryable, and the letters all spell out bow wow. Each of the Yippers have their own health bar, with their jetpack smoke turning gray once they're near death, and as each Yipper is knocked out, they'll fly into the background like the Brigadier, with the rate of the individual Yippers barking out letters increasing to keep the threat up as enemies begin to disappear. Once the Yippers are gone, the airship and Ophero return, bringing up its paws and smashing them onto the edges of the screen. Laser cannons pop out of the 6 openings, making straight lines that the player needs to dodge. They're fairly simple to move around, and the moving platform works really well as you position yourself to avoid the attacks, while also continuing to deal damage to the cannons. Once the cannons have fired a few times, the phase shows the rest of its hand, as the airship turns the entire screen counterclockwise 90 degrees, putting you in the airship's mouth as Ophera stands at a console of red and yellow buttons. She serves as the boss's hurtbox now, as she starts mashing buttons to create food bowls that start at the opposite side of the screen the player is standing and loop around the screen's edges. Red bowls will go across at the standing level of the plane, requiring the player to jump, while yellow bowls will be just above the player to keep them grounded. Combined with the player trying to stay close to the center of their plane to avoid even more chaos with a moving platform, and it becomes enough of a threat to be challenging without ever breaking the player's mind with the camera change. After the attack finishes, the airship spins the player again, repeating the cannon phase but upside down this time. The simplicity of this phase when it was right side up makes a lot more sense when you realize the player is also expected to do it upside down. And once it finishes, the airship rotates into another sideways phase before eventually getting the player back to right side up, looping all the phases as much
Can I
as needed.
please see what the other encounters are, please?
Up until this phase, Cuphead's only experimentation with messing
Seriously?
with the player's controls were in the Maria fight, with her freezing stone gaze and the seahorse pushing the player around. So the Howling Ace's last
Might
phase
pivot
was
to
a
the
huge
Pipowdon. Let me see what the is
if
in
the
the
phase was
lake
more
real quick.
complicated than it is, it might be a bigger problem. But even though I still personally massively struggle wrapping my head around aiming in this phase, I was able to get a successful S-grade run within 6 attempts. It does a great job evolving the ideas of the fight, while also being
Yeah, our only real option is to either try to get the fishing pivot or
gimmicks. If a phase like this
Pipowdon, and I would rather take my odds
it could end up feeling
out on.
like it came out of
I mean, who says I can't do both, so.
environment and overall fight design means it makes sense in the context of the battle. That said, some people just won't be able to handle the spinning screen, which is why I think the Howling Aces received the secret phase of the DLC. In the second phase, if you get all 4 of the Yippers' health low enough that their jetpacks are shooting gray smoke without killing any of them, the airship arrives and collects all 4 of the Yippers, providing a completely unique final phase that does not spin the screen at all. The unfortunate end result is that this secret phase is probably the least exciting of all the secret phases in the game, but there are a few neat details in here. The 6 gaps are the
Come on,
cannons
Hipowdon, you suck.
Ophera and the Yippers pop out with Ophera wielding a dog toy that
I'm gonna have to
uses
run from it just so I don't
fire
die.
minions from the first phase, while the Yippers throw the pineapple mints that you're here to collect.
I hate it when
Initially,
Pokemon that aren't even that good
similar
are really hard to
choice
catch.
for
That doesn't make any
dog
sense.
fighters to have, but here's a little history lesson. This is the MK2 grenade, often called a pineapple grenade. And these pineapples...
Okay, I'm kinda
are
capping.
designed to
Pipowdon's
build
actually pretty good.
grenades. Pineapple
But
grenades
still.
used by the British in World War II might also build towards another pun. Winston Churchill earned the nickname of the Bulldog during his administration, which makes British dog fighters just work as a pun. The grenades will either fall off the screen or explode into a trio of projectiles.
Yeah, this
that
boss fight definitely does feel very
Precisely
World War
because you
II-esque.
can dodge the grenades and watching your bullets carefully. As an interesting design choice, only Ophera actually takes damage here, which is why this one and only run of the secret phase takes as long as it does. The Yippers all flash like they're taking damage when they're hit, and tracking weapons can target them, which means that weapon selection
I hate everything.
is critical for this fight if you're planning on going down the secret phase instead of the main path. The game also doesn't really effectively communicate Ophera's status as the only real hurtbox here. It feels like hitting any of them will work, but that's not the case. A secret phase is never unwelcome in Cuphead, but this one does feel somewhat practical, providing a way to get around the spinning airship rather than interacting with a mechanic in a unique way, like Jimmy's psychic move, seeing that you're tiny and making a tiny one instead of a full Cuphead, just isn't present here. The spinning airship is also a really solid climax even within the DLC, and it makes the boss feel unlike any
Just
other
mid
boss.
Pokemon after
And
mid
the secret
Pokemon,
phase
honestly.
providing a way around it means that the boss as a whole loses a lot of the identity that it originally had. Though I'm decently hard on that secret phase, the boss as a whole still earns an A grade. I love the unique plane gimmick, and the spinning plane makes for a really great final challenge. It doesn't quite land as a gimmick for me like the Phantom Express does, but it's still more than a memorable fight. In terms of death quotes, I have to give it to the Yippers, who fall in line with the British military theme, "Affirm Roger Fox, affirm Roger Fox." Of course, these are using something similar to the phonetic alphabet to spell their real message to the player. Arf arf. The last of the mini-bosses in the delicious last course is the Angel and Devil, a cut phase from the Devil's boss fight, hidden as part of a questline to get one of the game's most unique charms. The rest of the roster of Cuphead can't really be missed. Every main boss is required, with the King's Gauntlet being the only optional content appearing on this list up until now. And with how much gold is rewarded and how clearly the ladder is introduced to the player as they enter Aisle 4, it's rare to see them completely skipped. The Angel and Devil, however, are very easy to miss. And I'd even gamble there are still people who have beaten the DLC and never even knew these two existed. The game does suggest to the player that there is a secret to find in the graveyard, but most of the secrets in Cuphead are unique skins, filters, or music variations rather than content. To unlock the Angel and Devil, the player needs to talk to the 3 characters on this award platform. There's a randomized series of dialogue that lets you know what gravestones to interact with first, second, and third, and some of these are really clever hints. For example, in this playthrough, I got 2 of the trickier ones to notice if you don't realize you're looking for a hint. My pals cheered me on, but I let them down, left the race in third. Piecing together that this is telling you to interact with the bottom left grave third is just abstract enough to make sense once you figured it out, but not so abstract as to make it impossible to guess. Once you do, the brothers can choose to fall asleep in the graveyard, which draws them into the Angel and Devil encounter. As they load in here, the loading screen hourglass isn't dancing, it's dead.
I hate pivoting to stone evolutions.
Entry gives it a really uncomfortable feeling. There's no title slide, no introduction. The player is just dropped directly into this match. But with that said, I can see why this phase was cut. It's simple, but managed to provide a decent challenge as the player learns a new muscle memory. The Angel and Devil
It's actually one of the easiest bosses in the entire
game,
game.
third of which can be parried, or create a vertical wall that would theoretically need to be smoke dashed through. However, projectiles shot by the Angel are just outlines, and won't ever actually hit
Alright,
the player.
it looks
But
like
when
our
the
really
player
only
turns
option
facing
is
the direction,
Togekiss.
The Angel and Devil and their active attacks switch places. Wherever the player faces, that figure becomes the devil, and any projectile they shot or will shoot becomes real and deadly. That works both ways though. The Angel always appears behind the player, and any dangerous attacks can become transparent by turning away from it. On top of that, there is a single cloud that floats in the arena with a lightning bolt below it. The lightning hurts the player, and since the cloud goes right to the edge of the arena, the player is encouraged to try to stay on the small floating space and forced to leap over it throughout the fight. The whole phase builds on top of itself to create a very thorough threat really well. If the player is on the cloud, they don't need to worry about the damage under the platform.
I doubt it's even gonna be good. I'll just get the level 5.
Leading to them needing to turn around more frequently, meaning they have to watch both sets of attacks more carefully. The new muscle memory of turning back and forth in order to change attacks, however, feels so much different than the rest of the game. This
yeah,
being
no,
the
it's
second
not good.
phase in the already longer devil
Didn't
fight
expect
would
it to be
start
though.
get really frustrating. It's more than just a change in the attack patterns or how.
I mean, stab chatter is literally it.
completely
That's like
forces you to
literally
reassess
the only good
very
move.
way that you move. It's great for a mini boss with only.
I can't even get to
phase, though,
the
so
first
I'm glad
trainer.
for
I'm
all
literally
the
dying to a
people
wild
staying
Pokemon
on
right now.
the cutting room floor. But the big draw of this fight is that the atmosphere is.
Of course, there's now level 6 shows up after I caught the level 5.
Rocking claymation devil skeleton in the background that the devil and angel are drawn into at the end of the fight, combined with not being in a level proper and the more unsettling than usual death quote of "Wish you may, wish you might, your soul is now trapped in the night," all builds towards this really uncomfortable fight. And for a hidden boss fight, that's perfect. Hidden bosses that make the player feel like they found something they shouldn't.
Into bed now. Thank you for the stream. Best luck here. Alright, thanks, Dylan. I appreciate it. I'm not gonna stream for much longer because I only have 14 files left anyway.
Hard to rate above most of the bosses proper, but the atmosphere goes a huge way.
And with how bad my luck's been today,
you may have noticed that I haven't been
I'm probably just gonna
mentioning
blow
death
through all
quotes
these
for mini
14
bosses, and that's because I'm going to
files
pick
left.
my winner here. Though the Angel and Devil have the most effective quote for building their fight's atmosphere, it's also not a pun, so I'm going to give the pun instead to the Rooks. Beating you is pretty straightforward. All of the chess pieces have great puns, but this one is so, for lack of a better word, straightforward.
You're welcome. No warning on eyesight.
5 ingredients
Go.
to bake the Wonder Tart and bring Miss
This-
Chalice
I-
back to life. The player returns to Chef
no,
Saltbaker,
just
heading into the dungeon that he keeps
till
under
next
his
time.
shop and realizing the truth. He does plan to bake the Wonder Tart, but he's not doing this for Chalice. He plans to gain full control of the astral plane and become extraordinarily powerful. And with 5 ingredients and consuming 1 disembodied soul, he's ready to make it. Thus, the final boss of the DLC, Chef Saltbaker in a Dish to Die For, begins. Before I go into anything else, I congratulated the devil on its feeling of finality within the base game. The scale of dropping into the depths of hell, the crying phase, and the reprises within his musical theme made it clear that he was the final challenge. But Chef Saltbaker, this sentient salt shaker is a genuinely threatening presence in the way the devil never was. And the fact that they made a salt shaker intimidating is a testament to their character design. Saltbaker's boss theme loses the joviality found in the rest of Cuphead's soundtrack, but manages to dance the line between feeling more intimidating with the addition of choral backing and organ, but keeping that frenetic energy that the game is known for, especially with its use of violin and bells. The animation.
Oh no, I take it back. This is the hardest expert fight.
His animations throughout the fight make him seem genuinely deranged and dangerous.
It'd be so long to beat this boss on expert.
Chalice or your brother of choice trapped in the back.
I literally said you just have to throw yourself at him over and over and over again so you win.
Towards atmosphere here, I've always found Saltbaker to be a much more demanding boss encounter than the devil, with a lot more additional emphasis.
It's just that first phase, man. Every other phase is fine. It's just that it's the same thing with the devil, honestly, too.
Themselves on Saltbaker's cutting board, with a small flame that starts on the top of the screen, leaping towards the player before boomeranging you back up to the top over and over again throughout the fight. On expert, there are 2 flames, and that helps provide a constant vertical threat, forcing the player to be on the move and alert throughout the entire phase. Saltbaker uses 4 of the 5 ingredients to create different attack patterns here, and like Mortimer, these attacks are non-stop, each overlapping with each other and the persistent flames, in order to make this the only grounded level that starts to verge into bullet hell territory, in the same way that Dr. Call's final phase did. The animators also decided that they needed to give the ingredients that Saltbaker is working with sentience, just to really drive home exactly how evil he is. Meaning that while the player is being bombarded with the legion of attacks, they're watching Saltbaker prepare his next attack by terrorizing these crying and screaming ingredients, with the rhythmic click of his knife and tools merging with the screaming and dramatic music to push the unsettling atmosphere even further. To begin the fight, there will already be a pile of sugar or limes that Saltbaker sends towards the player right off the bat. For the sugar attack's full animation, Saltbaker pulls the icy sugar cube onto the table, pulls off its cute little sailor hat, and then uses a chisel to shatter his prey before blowing it off to the side. The fun detail here is that you can still see the eyes and nose on the sugar's corpse before he blows it away. A parade of sugar cubes ends up forming a sine wave across the screen, a few of which can be parried. The desert lime attack probably takes the cake as the most horrifying of his animations, as 4 limes are put on the table, running around in a panic before Saltbaker grabs his knife and cuts through them with a single swipe. Their eyes all still open as he quarters and sweeps them off the table. The limes will start on that side of the screen, fly across the screen at a random vertical level, and then boomerang around to
what is up with Hippowdon just like absolutely dominating me?
When a bag of gnome berries runs across the screen, he'll grab it and squeeze the bag, pushing the berries up and out into the air. It's definitely the most mellow fate for any of the ingredients. I mean, the bag can still cry afterwards, which is more than the limes could say. The berries rain down diagonally and linger longer than most of the other ingredient attacks. Finally, the distillery dough climbs in, excited to be here, until it sees Saltbaker's rolling pin and panics before Saltbaker flattens it, using his fingers to make cookies that are brought to life with a magical spell. The cookies serve as the only destructible attack within the phase and are slowly jumping across the arena. In terms of area covered, this one
I illegally picked them on. Doesn't count.
A weapon like roundabout or crack shot is great for getting rid of the cookies before they become a problem. Every background animation here is extraordinarily unique and easy to read at a glance, meaning the player is never caught off guard as the state of the first phase is shifting and adjusting. And considering how much the player has to focus on
beef with the Hippowdon. Dude, like his catch rate is ridiculously low for some reason, and he just kills all my Pokemon while I'm trying to catch him. Like seriously? You're not even a legendary, dude.
To the point that watching this phase without the sound effects
really?
can feel actively wrong. All 4 of these threats provide a horizontally focused attack, and end up contrasting well with the flames hunting down the player vertically. The attacks are all similar enough that they'll never create an undodgeable scenario, but they're unique enough that random patterns of moves combining with the flame means the first phase is a constantly changing collection of attacks, overlapping in unique, random ways. This is considered by the community to be one of the hardest phases in the game, and yeah, because of the way that the entire phase is built on these combining attacks, there is no one strategy that dodges everything that comes at you, and no reliably learning a single move. You have to learn every single combination of moves in order to be able to adapt constantly, seeing what attack is about to start as the previous one is ending, and making sure you're in a good spot to dodge whatever comes next. I love this phase. It encourages learning the dangers and vulnerabilities of each of his moves and how they interact, but lacks any of the complications.
To be so reckless.
The other busier phases frustrating, like the visibility in Dr. Call's third phase. That said, the fight just keeps getting better as it goes. Saltbaker smashes his hands down and eats something by putting it into his head as he grows to a massive size, cracks beginning to form on his face and body. He lifts up the player, with the next phase taking place entirely on his palm. Personally, this is my favorite of Saltbaker's phases. The flames grow legs and now rest on the palm alongside the player, serving as obstacles the player needs to jump around, while 4 pepper shakers appear, one in each corner. Saltbaker can't be damaged traditionally here. The player needs to attack the pepper shakers, causing them to explode and fly towards Saltbaker. hitting him and causing him to crack more and more before eventually the building and Saltbaker are destroyed. Of course, throughout this phase, the pepper shakers are attacking too, sneezing out projectiles.
Wow.
And in the tight space created by the flames, this phase can feel incredibly claustrophobic, which is fitting for a phase.
Oh my god, dude, what is wrong with me today?
Pepper shakers, Saltbaker uses the leaves of the pineapple mint, the last ingredient, throwing them into the air. 3 to 5 of them will float down depending on your difficulty, rocking back and forth as they do. With the threats here being vertical, set on the ground, or homing towards the player, the phase really encourages horizontal positioning as you rush down the pepper shakers to slow down their assault and get through the phase.
Ever since that I lost that licky, I've just never been the same.
Accomplishes the same scale as the Devil's phase transition and Glumstone's eating of the player, especially with the new background of the bakery already half shattered by the fight thus far. If the fight ended here, it would already be incredible, but this is only the halfway point. Unlike the Devil, which built itself around one huge change,
not really. His HP's kind of like,
as the building collapses.
his HP kind of gets lower and lower as the phases go. So like, he has the most health in the first phase,
as the salt itself
and
comes to life and forms an avatar of 2 dancing Saltbakers that will
kind of like the Devil as well.
bouncing around while a saw blade, 2 of them on expert, rides along the ground. If the clones do bounce enough, they'll dissolve, and he'll create a new set to bounce towards the player. Even more so than other fights, Saltbaker simplifies as he goes. Learning this phase especially is not particularly difficult, and instead focuses on setting up the final spectacle of this fight and the DLC. As the clones melt away, Saltbaker rises up as a giant, made fully of salt, knocking the shell of his body to the side as he turns into a massive tornado. His heart bursts from the salt and throws itself into the tornado as 2 sinkholes form on the ground, quickly destroying the floor. Shards of Saltbaker's body fall as platforms between 2 pillars of salt, his screaming face adorning both as his heart begins to bounce around the constricted space. Without the right weapons, this phase can last a really long time, even if it only takes up 15% of his overall health bar. The heart here can also be parried, which mostly helps the player get out of a bad situation.
Halfway point.
On expert, it serves as the brother.
Just because there's 4 phases and you beat the first two phases doesn't mean it's halfway through.
This is my single favorite platforming phase in the game. Once you know it's there, it's just a matter of holding down a weapon capable of hitting.
It's really fun on expert, in my opinion.
Surviving. The Cuphead's platforming mechanics have always been baked into each of its boss fights. The only other bosses that played with platforming to this degree were the auto-scroll.
Not the fight necessarily, just this phase specifically is what I mean.
Saltbaker operates as a funnel boss more than anything else in this game. The final phase is nothing but a single moving hitbox and a platforming challenge, as the tension of the fight is drawn out into a single final question. Who dies first, you or Saltbaker? The first 2 phases are so overwhelming as you're learning this fight that by the time you've made it here, you are desperately hoping that this will be the time you finally make it through. It is so effective as a final boss and combines with the music in an unforgettable way. Chef Saltbaker is an absolutely
I'll try to run it, I guess.
boss. His first
I don't really
phase
have much of a
provides
choice.
challenge unlike anything else in the game, but doesn't rely on any gimmick, making it a pure and honest test of your pattern recognition and how it's grown over the course of the game. His second
More of a
phase
special
leans
attacker,
in
Petal
on the
Dance is
gimmicks of the
ideal.
DLC to focus on spectacle.
And so of
It
course
does so in
naturally we
fast,
first fight a
easy to
Pokemon that
understand way,
resists
with a game that
grass.
does not
Oh,
slow
Anger
down
Point
the
though.
gameplay loop or
Nice.
any randomness. The third phase is very much that setup, but the final phase is a stressful climax immediately understood by the player. And on top of all of this, his musical soundtrack is broken into movements, with each phase transitioning to sound more and more.
I think that's the first time I've ever taken advantage of Anger Point ever
Singing the player's name
in the history of
to an intense action piece to
playing
an exciting
Pokemon.
build-up as you get that final release.
What's Anger Point? If I get crit, my attack stat gets maxed.
S-grade boss fight. This is how you build a culminating boss fight. You utilize the funnel mechanics in order to make the boss easy to learn despite feeling incredibly complicated, and by building tension over the course of the entire fight via a combination of spectacle and the story as the bakery breaks away, it makes the entire fight feel like a culmination in a way that the Devil, who did have a satisfying finish with the crying, didn't quite achieve. For his death quotes, I have to give it to his final phase. The mark of my salinity shall scar thy fired glaze. Not only does it sound insanely evil, but with his body dissolved, salinity is a great way to pun off the fact that he is fighting you with just his heart, but it's also one of a small selection of quotes that pokes fun at the cup's nature as, well, cups. And with that, we've come to the end of our Cuphead journey. But before we're done, it's time for the official Cuphead pun ranking. Before
Do
get
I,
into that,
try to run this thing?
I don't play many fighting games, so I didn't.
I'm gonna go and say no, just because my only special moves are grass type
references
and
the Go for Broke Street Fighter 3 intro, and the devil's anyone who opposes me will be destroyed.
Go see what the fishing encounters are. I'll try to run it if I don't have a choice, but
So with that said, here's
really,
my
I get
ranking
to
of
pick,
my
yeah.
favorite of each Cuphead boss's death quotes. I have the perfect equation to hinder your evasion. Fitting, isn't it? I'm a blimp, you're a wimp. Sorry, I didn't mean to put you
I
in
get
the
the
hot seat. Extreme pollination and total domination. How's the jaw, old chum? Anyone who opposes me will be destroyed. Even without my feathers, you're in for stormy weather. Surprise! Forgetting about the boss ain't wise. Monkey see, monkey doom. What a glorious night for me to bring the fright. The mark of my salinity shall scar thy fired glaze. This tank is the ultimate weapon. You will not win. You went for broke, and now you're croaked. Holy mackerel, is that your best effort? Why'd the clown drive over the cup? He wanted to crack him up. Dominate and bominate. That's how I be.
Wow.
Beating you is pretty straightforward.
off fishing encounters. All right, we gotta try to run it.
No strings attached. You thought you were bold, but I am bolder. I'm very smashing, even in grave situations. It's Aurora Boreal over for you. Affirm Roger Fox. Affirm Roger Fox. I'm lean, mean, and full of beta-carotene. Let's be franks here, I'm your worst nightmare. Good riddance. Go away. It's time for my soliloquy. Here's the final ranking of the Cuphead bosses in general. The bosses in Cuphead are so exceptionally designed. Almost 2/3 of the bosses in Cuphead earned an A grade or higher, with only 6 out of 25 full bosses below an A grade. One thing I've always wanted to try when it comes to these boss ranking videos is doing a community ranking afterwards. In the description below, you'll find a link to a Google form that just runs over, hey, what's your favorite boss, what's your least favorite boss, and what would you rank every boss on a scale of 1 to 10. Thanks for joining me through these 2 videos. These were some of my
You're
absolute
welcome.
favorite analyses to make, and I learned a lot about the game as I scripted these videos. Outside of the community ranking, my next video is probably going to be on Lies of P. Depending on how fast I do get through the DLC, I may or may not include it in that first video, but that'll be the next big essay coming on out. So, I hope to see you in the next one.
This is gonna be my last attempt. So I'm gonna go ahead and not bother putting on another YouTube video. Let's just see how this fight goes, I guess. I'm gonna lose. Here we go. I'll live to see another day. Oh, I got Anger Point. Okay, cool. That's why I won. Well, it's not necessarily why I won, but it helped, I guess. Dude, why am I only fighting Pokemon that resist grass type moves, dude? Like, literally all of them. I have to keep using Headbutt. Wow, level 14 for the rival might be the lowest level I've ever been. You're supposed to, well, not supposed to be, but you're typically like level 15 at the very least. 16 on average. Wait, why did I fall asleep? Let me just sleep. You're just gonna keep lowering my speed, really? Dude, what the frick is this moveset? This moveset's garbage. Just kill me now, please. Thank you. Put me out of my misery. Alright, I'm gonna end the stream there. Thank you guys for being here. I appreciate it. Awful stream in terms of luck, but, you know, that's just how KAIZO goes sometimes. I know I won't be streaming tomorrow, but I will be streaming on Friday, so I'll see you guys then. Have a great day.